your trusted and relevant source for news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 12 o'clock. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Thursday, July 23rd. Your top story, gubernatorial candidates weigh in after a deadly shooting in Madison.
I'm Adam Roberts. How to keep your food safe at Milwaukee festivals.
Comfortable temperatures continue today, just a touch warmer than it was a day ago. Sunny conditions, high 77, partly cloudy tonight at a low of 63. 77, partly cloudy in Milwaukee at 12:01. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, protesters at the state capitol hours after Madison police shot and killed a man suspected of stealing a bicycle.
Among those with the demonstrators, State Representative Francesca Hong, who is running for governor.
State-sanctioned violence was an execution.
Other Democratic gubernatorial candidates releasing statements. Mandela Barnes says he's deeply disturbed and pained by the video. David Crowley says it's painfully reminiscent of the tragedies in Kenosha and Minneapolis. Joel Brennan saying the Madison community deserves a full, transparent, and independent accounting of what happened. Kelda Roy is calling for a thorough investigation and due process. Neil Doyle, WTMJ News.
Various advocacy groups are planning vigils in Madison beginning at 5 o'clock this evening.
Sticking with politics, new questions are beginning to emerge in the Democratic race for governor after old social media posts tied to Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley have resurfaced. Report from NBC News says a Twitter account using the fake name Dirt McGurk was registered to Crowley's email and posted offensive remarks more than a decade ago. Crowley's campaign says the account was shared by 10 to 12 people and maintains Crowley did not write the posts. He also released a statement condemning the language, saying it does not reflect who he is. The development comes as Crowley re-entered the race a week ago and less than 3 weeks now from the primary election. Neil Doyle, WTMJ News.
The Milwaukee Health Department keeps food safety top of mind, especially with food being the big draw for outdoor festivals.
Last year, the Milwaukee Health Department inspected over 133 unique events. Consumer Environmental Health Director for Milwaukee, Carly Hagerty, tells WTMJ some of the things that they look for.
It's food safety. So do they have a proper hand wash setup? We want to make sure they have a proper place to wash their hands. If they're serving hot foods, do they have the proper equipment to keep it hot? Do they have thermometers to check the temperatures of the food, as well as things like sanitizer?
They also check that each stand has a recent license. Elizabeth Linton in WTMJ News.
House lawmakers making another push to rein in President Trump's actions in Iran. More from News Nation's Trevor Shirley.
For the second time now, House lawmakers passed a war powers resolution that aims to limit the use of military force in Iran. The Senate's also expected to take up its own version of something similar, but at this point, both versions are considered to be largely symbolic.
The House voting to approve the Democratic-backed war powers resolution. That comes as the number of American soldiers killed in fighting hit 18 and questions persist about the administration's handling of the war.
Jeffrey Epstein's former banker, James Staley, testifying before the House Oversight Committee. Staley was Epstein's banker at J.P. Morgan. More from ABC's Peter Haralambous.
Before he became the CEO of the multinational bank Barclays, he was an executive at J.P. Morgan who included Epstein among his clients. Now, that bank got sued after Epstein's death for allegedly ignoring red flags about sex trafficking. The bank itself admitted no wrongdoing, but settled that case for $290 million. There are also questions about his personal relationship with Epstein. The fact that he had a relationship with one of Epstein's assistants, that around 2010 he visited Epstein's island.
Staley has maintained he had a close professional relationship with Epstein, but was unaware of his crime.
News about your money, the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. To say it's been a rough day for the NASDAQ might be a bit of an understatement. That group off more than 2% on the day so far and trading down 530 points on the afternoon. The Dow, meanwhile, off just under 1%, down 462 points, and the S&P 500 is off 87. That's more than 1% loss on the day so far. Financial planning at every level, Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 12:04.
If you need a place for new home interior ideas, then you have to come talk to us. Our on-staff decorators know furniture, home decor, and a lot more. And they're not only creative, but also very willing to help you make great choices. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating taste come to find premium home decor at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee. Stop in often because our inventory changes daily.
Design Exchange.
Previously, it has been gently loved, but here you'll only find very well-conditioned premium home decor items that you likely won't find elsewhere. Distinctive furniture, unique antiques, and original art, and other tasteful home decor at a value. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor on consignment at 25 to 40% off retail prices in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Do you know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day? At Milwaukee Weight Loss, we know the secret. Our doctor-developed, easy-to-follow weight loss program helps you lose weight fast, naturally and safely, and with no drugs or injections with risk of serious side effects, no prepackaged meals, bars, shakes, and no exercising required. Our program helps reset your metabolism so you can keep the weight off for good with a coach for ongoing support. Our program costs up to half as much and works up to twice as fast as most other programs. Go to MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com to schedule your free consultation.
Many of us struggle to lose weight. I use Milwaukee Weight Loss to lose the weight I've wanted to lose for a long time. And the great thing is I've kept it off now for over a year. Lost 45 pounds last year, another almost 10 pounds this year with a goal of losing maybe 10 more. For a limited time, get $200 off of their summer special. Book your free consultation at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. I can do it. You can do it. We can all do it. Let's lose weight together. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. Results may vary.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Brewer Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. The Brewers' season-long 9-game homestand continues Friday afternoon against the Rockies. Jacob Mizorowski's next start being pushed back as the team works to manage his innings and the innings of all their young starters. President of Baseball Operations, Matt Arnold.
Certainly want to be conservative, but we also got to win games. You know, we have a long way to go, and don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. You know, we're still in July here, and so we, obviously have a little bit of a lead here, but that can go away quickly. And so, we're gonna do what we can to push the guys, but also do it responsibly.
Brewers begin the day with a 7-game lead over the Cubs for first place in the NL Central. Countdown to Packers training camp is on. Rookies and select veterans scheduled to report July 27th. Packers head coach Matt LaFleur hopeful tight end Tucker Kraft will be available for Week 1 against the Vikings.
Tuck looks great right now. You want him out there. He looks so good. You want to put him out there, but certainly we're still early in that process, and hopefully he'll be ready to go either by training camp or early in training camp.
Kraft tore his ACL in November. Packers' first training camp practice scheduled for July 29th.
Let's take a look at the roads now. Your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. Just one crash right now reported just before noon. On 94 West, right shoulder going to be blocked due to a crash as you go past Moreland Road. After that point, you should be good. It's not in the way of traffic at all, just some work being done on that crash on the shoulder, so just be mindful as you pass by. Northbound 4145, about 3 extra minutes on your ride from the zoo up to Highway Q. Most of the delays being focused around Highway 100 north to Capitol. You'll also tap the brakes heading south from Appleton Avenue down towards Hampton. And some slowdowns right now on 94 east and west right around the stadium, as well as on 894 heading east from about Forest Home all the way over to Loomis. Once you're past there, you are good.
Sponsored by Accunet Mortgage.
Get your rock-solid pre-approval or a no-pressure refi checkup by clicking on the blue button at Accunet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
Comfortable conditions continue today. Sunny, a high of 77. Partly cloudy tonight at a low of 63. Sun returns on Friday with a high of 78. No rain in the forecast on Saturday. Warm and humid, mostly sunny, high 85. Back up to 90 on Sunday. There is a chance for an afternoon or evening storm. 77 degrees in Milwaukee at 12:09.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzik.
Well, it's just me here, Jessica, with an off day, a very cool event. It's a 250th event happening at the War Memorial that Jessica is emceeing today. One of the very cool opportunities that we sometimes in the business have a chance to do. So Jessica taking a well-deserved day off to be a part of a very cool event in Milwaukee. So we got you till 3 o'clock here on WTMJ with Wisconsin's Midday News.
It's now at noon on Wisconsin's Midday News.
The Wisconsin Department of Justice Division of Criminal Investigation taking over the investigation into that fatal police shooting of a man in his 30s on Madison's east side. Happened on Wednesday afternoon about 1:30. Sparked massive protests and a cancellation of several local public events.
Police say officers were called for reports of a man checking vehicle doors. When officers tried to make contact, they say he fled on a bicycle. About a half hour later, officers catching up with him and a physical struggle ensued in a busy intersection.
That's ABC News Chief Justice Correspondent Pierre Thomas. According to Madison Police Chief John Patterson, 4 officers attempted to restrain the man in the middle of a road. A veteran officer then deployed a taser, which proved to be ineffective. Chief Patterson stated that the suspect produced a fixed blade knife and injured an officer during that struggle. The injured officer then fired his handgun 3 times at close range, killing the man. Officers not wearing body cameras during the incident, but video is widely accessible and circulating via social media. Candlelight Vigil is scheduled for tonight at 5 o'clock in Madison. A new autopsy is out following the death of an 18-year-old Mississippi man over the 4th of July weekend.
Still no concrete answers as to how 18-year-old Nolan Wells died. The preliminary findings of the independent autopsy report commissioned by Wells's family found the cause of his death to be undetermined. Wells's body was found July 6th, 2 days after he'd gone to an island off the coast of Mississippi with friends who later returned to the mainland without him.
So the family hired a pathologist, and that pathologist noted he did not find any evidence of fractures or any deep tissue injuries or anything like that to suspect or indicate foul play. Now, the group Wells was boating with returned home without him. Wells' cell phone was not on his person at the time of his death. And number 3, it's back. For the first time since 2014, Badgers fans in the Milwaukee area will listen and find Badgers football on WTMJ and simulcast on 94.5 ESPN in Milwaukee. In addition, men's basketball and women's volleyball, hockey will air on WTMJ, and the remaining contests will be on the ESPN Wisconsin app, the WTMJ app, and Learfield's Varsity Network app. First game you'll hear, the opening game of the Badgers football season. That'll be Sunday, September 6th against Notre Dame at Lambeau Field. Matt LePay and Mark Tauscher will be on the call for that contest.
You know, WTMJ has been, Wisconsin's radio station forever. It's going to be a lot easier to find. And obviously, this season, we're excited about it. And to be able to bring it back to WTMJ and ESPN Milwaukee, it's something we're fired up about, and I'm glad that everybody could figure out a way to make this thing happen. So our broadcast will be available a lot easier than it's been in the past.
Lots of interesting details here. We'll go through it with Good Karma Brands Vice President and Milwaukee Market Manager Greg Scalzo, proud UW alum, joining us in studio after this.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for Tri-County Contracting. Hey, reminder, it is summer storm season, and weather damage can be a real issue at the house. So if you think you've got a problem, remember, Tri-County Contracting gives free estimates on any potential wind or hail damage. And here's the best part, they can always work directly with your insurance. It's Tri-County Contracting, WI.com. Love your home again, even during the storm season, with Tri-County Contracting, WI.com.
Hey, thanks. Good stuff, Eric. Hey, who's hungry tonight? Or today, for that matter? Make it a lunch date, make it a pizza night at your household, and make it Palermo's, Wisconsin's hometown pizza, found wherever you like to shop. Right, you get to stop off at the store on your way home from work, pick up a few, get a Connie's. How about an urban pie? Screamin' Sicilian. That is a personal favorite of mine. You got great deals going on right now with beautifully made, wonderfully tasting Palermo's Pizza, made right here in the state of Wisconsin, in Milwaukee for 60 years. 60 years they've been making the best frozen pizza you will find. Support local and eat great. Make it a Palermo's night in your household. Wisconsin's hometown pizza is Palermo's.
Hey, Wisconsin, it's construction season, and the Wisconsin DOT wants to help you safely navigate work zones in your area. Check 511wi.gov or download the free 511 app to see current road work, closures, detours, and camera views on your route. Wherever your travels take you, know before you go with 511wi.gov. That's 511wi.gov. And remember, know before you go. Always park the phone while driving. Sponsored by the Wisconsin DOT.
No matter where you hear WTMJ, whether it be here,
So we are overlooking the bay. We're in the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin mobile studios.
or there,
Here live in our Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin mobile studio.
catch us at home or on the go. Thanks to Fellow Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
In the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin podcast studio.
We are live wherever you are, on the air and on the go. The Pella Windows and Doors podcast studio is live on WTMJ.com.
Well, comfortable conditions continue today with a high of 77 degrees. Plenty of sunshine. Beautiful day here. Overnight low right around 50. Comfortable overnight lows. We warm up a little bit on Friday with a high of about 80 degrees. And then we're back to 90 with a chance of rain on Sunday. It's 77 degrees and comfortable in Milwaukee at 12:15. A big announcement today for fans of Badgers football and Wisconsin athletics as a whole.
Touchdown, Wisconsin!
Yeah, going to hear more a lot of Matt LePay throughout the course of the upcoming seasons here with football and basketball. Returning to WTMJ, it begins September 6th when UW hosts Notre Dame at Lambeau Field. But it's not just football returning, and it's not just basketball, and it's not just WTMJ as part of this multi-year agreement between Good Karma Brands and UW Athletics. Greg Scalzo is a proud UW alum sitting right across from us in our studio here, Vice President and Market Manager for Good Karma Brands Milwaukee, to help us explain it. Hey, Greg.
Hey, Greg. Thanks for having me.
This is a very exciting day, and I know a lot of people who listen to Badgers football and basketball over the years on WTMJ missed it when it was gone, and it became increasingly complicated to find those broadcasts. Now we're going to make it a little bit easier, but when did this conversation begin? Badgers football has been gone for more than a decade, and now it's coming back.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you could bring it all the way back to the roots of Good Karma Brands, which started in Beaver Dam, which is a proud Badger affiliate there, but, launched our first sports-focused station in Madison with our CEO and founder, Craig Karmazin, and our president, Steve Politziner, doing the Steve and Craig show, in and around Badger sports. But those conversations really, happened when the rights came up a few years back, and WTMJ and ESPN Madison became the home for Wisconsin volleyball. Those conversations, involved a whole lot of different sports. And as the years went on and there became an opportunity for the Badgers to matriculate over to WTMJ for this upcoming season, we reignited those conversations with our friends at Badger Sports Properties and with the University of Wisconsin, and very, very excited to be able to bring the Badgers home to WTMJ.
Well, I think people who listen to Badgers football and basketball on WTMJ for years and even decades knew that it was football and basketball, but the opportunities now for hockey and volleyball also exist. So it really is part of a growing commitment with the athletic department.
Absolutely. And I think, look, the Wisconsin Badgers are such a fabric of the state of Wisconsin. I mean, I'm from Massachusetts originally. I've now lived in Wisconsin longer than I lived on the East Coast, and that's because I came here to attend the University of Wisconsin-Madison. And I think that getting, not only football and basketball, but men's and women's hockey that you'll be able to access across the apps, WTMJ app, the ESPN Wisconsin app, will be, airing those postseason games. We had 2 Frozen Four runs for the hockey programs this past year, and to be able to platform those across our stations, but also across the multiple distribution points that exist now, is going to be a great service to folks across southeastern Wisconsin, and a great brand builder for the Wisconsin Badgers.
So it's not just WTMJ that will have these games, our sister station ESPN Milwaukee, but there's also this reality of 2026 and the ability to have apps and so on. And the reason I bring this up is there could be a potential logjam because we still are the home of the Brewers and we still are the home of the Bucks and overlapping season. So how do you work to manage that sort of potential logjam?
Yeah, I mean, we ran a lot of analysis in terms of how much crossover and conflict there would be. We felt really comfortable with it, but also knowing that people now are used to, they're trained on finding content where they access content, right? So if you're somebody that generally listens to WTMJ here on the WTMJ app or WTMJ.com, you're going to be able to access Badgers on those platforms. Similarly, we're going to have other distribution points across the ESPN Wisconsin app. And folks are used to being coddled in a way that they never were before, right? And we want to make it easier. We understand the frustration that exists in the sports world of where's the game right now? Which app do I have to download? Which app do I have to go into? We want to eliminate as much of that friction as possible and to be able to platform these games across as many distribution points so that you can find them on WTMJ app or on W620 WTMJ. Or in the case of Badger football, that's going to be simulcast on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee and 620 WTMJ. We want to bring the sports directly to you, eliminate that friction, and make it as easy as possible for you to consume the content that you want to consume. It's best for the Badgers. It's best for us. It's best for the great partners that are going to be a part of those broadcasts. And ultimately, we know that if we're doing that for the fans, then the fans are going to be consuming it, and that's good for everybody.
Hey, there's a potential scenario where the Brewers are playing a Saturday afternoon playoff game in October, and the Badgers are on the field at Camp Randall taking on who knows what opponent from the Big Ten. So if I'm listening to you right here, Greg, the idea that the Brewers would be on WTMJ and the Badgers would be on ESPN Milwaukee, that exists, plus the associated platforms and apps that you mentioned.
100%. Yeah. And, we're so blessed to have the stations that we do in terms of the signals that they carry. But also, I think people are going to know how to find these games. We're going to, promote those heavily through social. We'll have promotions throughout the week. So if there are conflicts, we'll be able to communicate that effectively. But every Badger football game is going to be on ESPN Milwaukee. And unless there is a conflict with the Brewers, it's also going to be on 620 WTMJ.
We're not easing into this thing either, by the way. The Badgers are taking on Notre Dame at Lambeau Field to begin its season. So it's not directional university from Michigan. Begin with a bang, right? This is great.
It's going to be amazing. Yeah, at Lambeau Field. It's going to be a lot of pageantry with that. It's the traditional Shamrock Series game that's going to be on national television. New athletic director, an important year for Luke Fickell, and a Notre Dame team that's coming off of what they felt like was a college football playoff snub. It's going to be a ton of excitement. It's going to be an amazing way to kick off the partnership. And I think those of us who are Badgers fans, which makes up the majority of the state, are very excited to see what the Badgers put on the field on that Saturday.
Yeah, I had some note here on the text line wondering about coaches' programs and things along that line, which, typically you might hear Matt LePay doing some kind of Badgers Weekly or something like that. Do those programs also exist as part of this agreement?
Yes, they do. Yep. So we will be platforming the coaches' shows as well. And there'll be more information as far as where those can be heard as those coaches' show approach. But we're excited to be able to get the full suite of Badgers content back to, fans in southeastern Wisconsin in a really impactful way.
Well, check out our websites, our social media feeds. It's kind of a Badgers day here. Even Marquette fans around our station and our fans and teammates are wearing a little bit of red today. I found that a little surprising, but they're doing it.
Hey, even Marquette basketball fans can be Badger football fans, right?
I love it. Greg Scalzo here is VP and Market Manager for Good Karma Brands Milwaukee, announcing a big partnership today with UW Athletics. It begins with the return of football Sunday, September 6th at Lambeau when the Badgers take on Notre Dame. Congrats, Greg. A big day. We appreciate it.
Congrats to you. Thanks, Greg.
It's 12:23.
Hi, this is Mike from Infinity Exteriors. Most contractors cut corners and disappear when there's a problem. Not us. Since 1997, we've completed over 60,000 projects, earned thousands of 5-star reviews, and were named 2025 Roofing Magazine Contractor of the Year. We set the standard for exterior remodeling. Trusted by homeowners, proven every single day. We're excited to show you why choosing Infinity means peace of mind. Visit infinityexteriors.com to see why your neighbors trust Infinity.
Horicon Bank, truly Wisconsin's bank and the natural choice. If you're looking to get that business of yours off the ground, get it up and running with financing requests that can be approved in days. A quick turnaround time for you and your business. It needs it, right? Horicon Bank went to work in the state of Wisconsin, in the town of Horicon, back in 1896. They are still community-minded and still opening doors for those in southeastern Wisconsin, in areas such as New Berlin and Wauwatosa, Menominee Falls and Grafton, and even in West Bend. So saw a couple of my Horicon Bank friends earlier today, Eric and Becky, who are in the studios cutting some new commercials. Always great to connect with them. You can connect with Horicon Bank to get all of your banking done right. And do it right here in the state of Wisconsin with a Wisconsin-focused bank. It's Horicon Bank, together doing good for 130 years, and member FDIC.
Hey everybody, it's WTMJ's Debbie Loziga for Access Legal. I see firsthand how hard Wisconsin workers push themselves. From the construction crews on the roads I monitor every day to the countless jobs that strain the body over time. For many, that wear and tear turns into real pain. My friends at Access Legal understand what you're going through and they want to help. Their team has recovered more than $35 million for Wisconsin workers and will fight for the benefits you're entitled to as well. Worn down by work? Contact Access Legal for a risk-free consultation. That's AXIS Legal.
Well, the number of confirmed cases of a nasty stomach bug linked to tainted lettuce growing to nearly 12,000 cases across 41 states.
The cyclosporiasis outbreak has been traced to a single supplier of lettuce to several restaurant chains, Taco Bell being the largest. A company that monitors foot traffic says visits to Taco Bell restaurants nationwide are down more than 30% since news of the stomach bug broke. Taco Bell has launched a one-day $1 sale on 2 menu items that don't contain lettuce.
I don't know if I'm going to buy that. It might still lead to some issues here with your gastrointestinal system. I was in the Dells over the weekend, and we were going to grab lunch in between softball games, and there's a main strip, actually several main strips in the Dells, and this particular one had a Taco Bell and a Jimmy John's, and kind of all the big ones here. There was maybe 2 cars in the Taco Bell parking lot at noon, and I'm guessing they were workers. So, yes, they are definitely taking a hit here as the trace of this cyclosporiasis being attributed to some of the lettuce that you'd find at a Taco Bell. So they're feeling the heat, and they've come up with a couple of lettuce-free options for you. One-day, $1 sale, couple of menu items that don't contain lettuce. That'll get you back to making a run for the border, right? Won't it? Well, the case continues to grow here, or cases, I should say. It's grown by the thousands here over the last couple of days, and what was 11 states last week, Thursday, is now up to 41 states as this is being distributed across the country through suppliers like Sysco and U.S. Foods. Wash your lettuce, people. 1227 here on WTMJ, Wisconsin's Midday News podcast, built by Siding Unlimited. And check us out on our YouTube page, Wisconsin's Midday News. Hop into the studio with us each and every day.
If you're near or at the EAA in Oshkosh, I urge you to visit the magnificent Mind Chef restaurant for a delicious and super affordable meal. The Wednesday and Friday haddock fish fry is all you can eat. It's only $8.99 near the EAA. Walk on in.
And now about your house. It's where you live, but do you also live in your yard? My friends at Outdoor Living Unlimited help people extend their home, living beyond the wall. Your imagination may be somewhat limited, so let's call on Eric Brown, president of Outdoor Living Unlimited, to expand upon it.
I'm confident that 90% of the listeners can look outside their home and dream of a better, nicer, way more outstanding backyard. If you're one of the many, you'll need to call Outdoor Living Unlimited. Outdoor Living Unlimited's expert team can design a beautiful, functional, usable backyard space. Then our team can build it. You dream it, we build it. New deck, outdoor kitchen, pavers, retaining wall, screen room. How about a must-see automated pergola that doubles as a screen room? Picture this, a pergola that allows the sunlight through the slats, but with the press of a button, those slats close and now you have protection. Another press of the button and the screens roll down. There's your screen room. The ideas are endless. We recently built a brand new deck with a screen room pergola on top and stairs that lead to a paver oasis complete with a fire pit and seat walls. Amazing. New deck, outdoor kitchen, screen room, automated pergola. Let Outdoor Living Unlimited design and build the amazing backyard. Find us at OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
See all the cool things that Outdoor Living Unlimited can do for your yard on their Instagram page, or visit their unique outside-in showroom in Waukesha. And if you're looking outside of your home, dreaming of a more beautiful and functional, usable backyard, well, Outdoor Living Unlimited can design and build you an amazing showstopper of a deck, patio, complete with pergola and fire pit, just like they did for us. With expert care, Outdoor Living Unlimited installed a beautiful paver patio, complete with land and stone retaining wall, all sorts of space, room for a built-in kitchen, and complete with a gas fire pit. It's where we spend all of our time. Visit OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
Are you hosting an event, launching something new, wanting to get the word out about your part of the state? Be a featured guest on the WTMJ Experience Wisconsin show. Share your story, promote your event or business, and connect with fans all across the state. I'm John Merkier. I'd love to interview you. We reach listeners from Milwaukee to Madison, Green Bay to La Crosse, everywhere in between. It's Experience Wisconsin. Ready to shine a spotlight on your business or company? Email me, john@WTMJ.com for more information. john@WTMJ.com.
It's 12:30. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Thursday, July 23rd. Your top story, still not sure who to vote for.
I'm Neil Doyle. Alleged sex trafficking at Milwaukee's Soldiers Home.
Comfortable conditions today, sunny and a high of 77 degrees, partly cloudy tonight, a low of 63. Sun returns on Friday with a high of 78, back into the 80s on Saturday. Could see a little bit of rain on Sunday with temperatures approaching 90 degrees.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. In Minnesota, Vance Belter has been sentenced to 2 life terms plus 40 years in prison for killing Democratic state lawmaker Melissa Hortman and her husband last year at their home. He also targeted other lawmakers that same day. ABC's Peter Haralambou says Belter pleaded guilty last month, taking the death penalty off the table.
He admitted to carrying out what prosecutors called a night of terror that shook Minnesota to its core when he disguised himself as a member of law enforcement, assassinated a top Democrat in the Minnesota House and her husband, and severely injured a state senator and his wife.
The U.S. has carried out nearly 2 weeks of airstrikes against Iran, and Iran is widening the conflict in the region. Maritime traffic stalled or blocked in the Strait of Hormuz, and Iran-backed Houthi rebels targeting ships in the Red Sea. In West Virginia, officials say 2 people are unaccounted for following severe flooding this week. Rescues continue in that area. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 12:31. Decision Wisconsin. About half of Democratic voters are still undecided with the gubernatorial primary less than 3 weeks away. Director of the Marquette Law School poll, Charles Franklin, says State Representative Francisca Hong is leading for the 4th poll in a row.
43% of those youngest voters back Hong. That falls to 37% with the 30 to 44-year-olds, down to 20 with the 45 to 59s, and down to 9% among the 60 and older. So this is a really strong age gradient.
It should be noted that a new poll is expected from MU Law next week because the one that Franklin references did not include Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley and did include Sarah Rodriguez.
Court witnesses support claims that torture led to Salah Sarsour's Israeli criminal conviction years ago and his ICE arrest earlier this year.
Islamic Society of Milwaukee leader Salah Sarsour was detained by ICE agents for over 80 days. He appeared in a Chicago court yesterday for his deportation case hearing. His attorney, Patrick Turrell, says
the government has trudged up very, very old Israeli criminal convictions and said that Mr. Sarsour is deportable because of these convictions that they have known about for over 20 years. But Mr. Sarsour has long maintained that those convictions were the product of torture.
3 witnesses testified about Israeli interrogations and conditions in the 1990s. Sarsour will be back in court on July 29th. Jen Gregg, WTMJ News.
2 people face felony charges for allegedly sex trafficking an 18-year-old woman at a Milwaukee veterans housing complex.
Derek Brown and his girlfriend Sarah Cuny are accused of trafficking the woman about 40 times back in May of 2025. A criminal complaint says they trafficked her 5 to 12 times per day inside their apartment at the Milwaukee Soldiers Home. The victim had just aged out of foster care, and the couple allegedly told her she could stay with them in exchange for being sex trafficked. Cuny will stand trial on 1 charge of receiving money for human trafficking. Brown faces the same charge and 1 charge of keeping a place of prostitution. His preliminary hearing is set for September. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
Wisconsin health officials reporting another increase in cases of the stomach illness cyclosporiasis.
The Department of Health Services says 105 cases and 3 hospitalizations have been reported so far this season. Most of the illnesses have been linked to international travel, while 20 cases were acquired in the U.S. with no common food source identified. There are no active cyclospora outbreaks in Wisconsin. Health officials are reminding people to wash fresh fruits and vegetables before eating or preparing them. Nicer Spencer, WTMJ News.
A class of Milwaukee Fire Department recruits is also made up of entirely paramedics. Fire Chief Aaron Lipsky says the cadets each had to pass the paramedic registry exam as a graduation requirement, telling WTMJ.
What it really means for Milwaukee is that we've got 24 more folks once they get through the regular recruit academy. We've got 24 more folks that can provide the highest level of pre-hospital emergency care for your illness, your injury, anything that happens. We are better equipped to do that now.
This summer's graduating class has 24 new recruits.
Sports, traffic, weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 12:35.
Are you worried about running out of money in retirement? Wondering about how to pay less taxes? Join me, Tony Drake, for the Retirement Ready Show, live every Saturday at noon and Sunday at 7 a.m. on WTMJ 620 or 103.3 FM. We'll talk about smart strategies to help you retire with confidence. Don't miss it.
Drake & Associates LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as individual investment advice. Drake & Associates LLC does not provide legal or tax advice. Past performance is not indicative of future performance.
Hey, it's WTMJ Steve Scafidi.
And Kristen Bry of Point Taken.
What's more important than having a special needs child turning 18 who needs guardianship?
Or helping aging parents plan for long-term care?
Thankfully, the attorneys at Walney Legal Group can help with both.
No intimidating lawyers, Walney Legal provides a customized, friendly experience to help make these processes as straightforward and streamlined as possible.
So whether you're planning for aging parents
or establishing a strong legal foundation for a special needs child, visit WALNYlegal.com.
Picture this: a perfect summer evening, great friends, and dinner on the patio overlooking a beautiful course. That's Racine Country Club. More than golf, it's a place to relax, gather, and belong. A new energy is here, and you're invited to experience it. From great food to unforgettable events, it's a lifestyle built around community. Whether it's a quick 9 after work, dinner with friends, or a weekend with family, Racine Country Club offers something for everyone year-round. Discover what's new at Racine Country Club. Visit racinecountryclub.com.
Abbey Window.
Are you looking to upgrade your home with a new bath, windows, roofing, or siding? At Abbey Home, we're proud to stand for the flag and celebrate America's 250th birthday. For 250 years, Americans have believed in hard work, quality craftsmanship, and taking pride in homeownership. And so do we. That's why we're offering 25% off all projects. That's 25% off all projects. Let our family help improve your home with products built to last and service you can trust. Call Abbey Home today. If somebody asks you if you know a guy in the business, you can say no, but I know a girl.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports desk. The Brewers' season-long 9-game homestand continues Friday afternoon against the Rockies. Jacob Bizarowski's next start being pushed back as the team works to manage his innings and the innings of all their young starters. Brewers President of Baseball Operations, Matt Arnold.
Certainly want to be conservative, but we also got to win games. You know, we have a long way to go, and don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. You know, we're still in July here, and so we, obviously have a little bit of a lead here, but that can go away quickly. And so, we're gonna do what we can to push the guys, but also do it responsibly.
Brewers begin the day with a 7-game lead over the Cubs for first place in the NL Central. And the countdown to Packers training camp is on. Rookies and select veterans scheduled to report July 27th. Packers head coach Matt LaFleur hopeful that tight end Tucker Kraft will be available for week 1 of the regular season against the Vikings.
Tuck looks great right now. You want him out there. He looks so good. You want to put him out there, but certainly we're still early in that process, and hopefully he'll be ready to go either by training camp or early in training camp.
Kraft tore his ACL in November. Green Bay's first training camp practice scheduled for July 29th.
Take a look at the roads, your WTMJ time saver traffic. We had a little issue 894 eastbound right at 60th Street. Looked like a couple of deputies were on the scene there, maybe a traffic stop, so it was kind of slowing things down. Looks like that has been cleared, but still kind of tapping the brakes through part of that stretch. And then seeing typical delays in some of our work zones. 94 east and westbound, a bit slow as usual through the stadium interchange, and also in our work zone on 41. You're slow 41 southbound from Good Hope until you get past Capitol. Otherwise, everything else looking good.
Well, enjoy the day today. A beautiful day with a high of 78 degrees. Should be a good amount of sunshine, some clouds popping in here and there. Overnight low around 50. Tomorrow's high 79 degrees. Could be back into the 80s for Saturday. Sunday, next chance of rain, and a high of 90 degrees. It is 78 in Milwaukee at 12:39. Well, the race for governor definitely starting to heat up here, about a week out of a publicized and televised debate involving the Democratic candidates leading up to the primary on August 11th. Meanwhile, David Crowley's campaign to become the Democratic nominee for Wisconsin governor facing a little turbulence here. After initially dropping out in early July, Crowley re-entered the race last week with Governor Evers' endorsement. And now a little bit of controversy regarding crude and offensive posts on an old social media account linked to his name. We welcome in CBS 58 political reporter AJ Bayatpour. Hi, AJ.
Hey, Greg. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. So walk us through the genesis of this, kind of how it was discovered, and we'll get to the backlash in a moment, but what is being discussed here?
Well, this story was first reported by NBC News. Essentially, they were able to get confirmation from David Crowley's campaign that this Twitter account, which was active somewhere between 10, 15 years ago, where the bulk of these posts were happening, that was registered to Crowley. And the campaign confirmed that while Crowley did post on that account, he himself did not post some of the more offensive posts, saying that somewhere between 10 and 12 people had access to this account. The people who are raising questions about the content would point to some posts that would be seen as either derogatory toward women, derogatory toward the LGBTQ community. And the response from the campaign was, yes, David Crowley in his 20s had access to this account. They maintained that the most offensive posts in question were posted by somebody else, not him.
So how, in the world of public opinion, does Crowley safely and effectively disengage from this account and this story?
That's going to be the question that voters are deciding between now and August 11th, right? You have early voting going on right now, and I would imagine that for anybody who sees themselves as a Democratic voter, some of the questions are, one, how troubled are you by these posts? Two, do you believe David Crowley's response that while he made some of those posts, the most offensive of those were made by other people with access to that account? It's just a matter of what do voters believe, and to what extent are they bothered by these posts? Because we've seen from some backlash, whether it's other political or pop culture figures, some people have the opinion of, hey, it's 15 years old, he was in his early 20s, I'm not that bothered by the content of that post. Other people will certainly say you're taking shots at groups of people, specifically women, specifically LGBTQ people, and that is something that you have to answer for if ultimately you were one of the people with admittedly access to that account and what it was putting out.
We're less than 3 weeks away from the primary, just a few days away from a televised debate. I would imagine this will be brought up in the line of questioning as part of that televised event. But it seems like, AJ, for all of the sleepiness in this race for the last several months, really maybe going on a year, it seems like things are really ratcheting up. And I know this group of people, this group of individuals running for the nominee on the Democratic side, they all know each other. They've all worked with one another. And in some cases are certainly friends, but the attacks are starting to fly here a little bit, right? They unearthed are things like this and the campaign finance mismanagement on Sarah Rodriguez that forced her out of the race. People trying to find anything to gain an edge. We are starting to see it.
Yeah, in the span of about 2 weeks now, we went from a Democratic primary where the dominant storyline was, is anything interesting ever going to happen in this race, to now you're wondering, have we seen anything like this ever before in Wisconsin politics, where it had seemed as though the power brokers of the Democratic Party were kind of trying to get people to rally behind Lieutenant Governor Sarah Rodriguez as the person who could pose mount the biggest push to not have State Representative Francesca Hong with a nomination. Clearly, from the conversations I'm having, there are people in high places in the Democratic Party of Wisconsin, or not the state party itself, but high-level Democrats in the state who have questions about whether Francesca Hong can win the general election. So there was this initial push to get people to rally around Sarah Rodriguez. that campaign implodes in that, high profile fiscal management, then David Crowley becomes that person to take that mantle. He is told to get back in the race. From what I've gathered through my sources, it was Crowley setting the condition of, if you want me to resurrect this campaign, something that's got to happen is Governor Tony Evers has to endorse me in this primary, something he has not done before, putting his thumb on the scale of a Democratic primary. Now the question here is, will the discovery of this Twitter account be something that is damning to Crowley in the eyes of voters? And if so, is it enough to swing this race? But beyond that, Greg, you have this issue of David Crowley and Mandela Barnes are both sons of Milwaukee. The question is, are they going to split the vote amongst themselves? And if they're dividing Milwaukee, is that going to clear a pathway for Francesca Hong to win this with ease? I mean, all the polls we're seeing are that she has a substantial lead right now. The one thing that other candidates can point to is in that Marquette poll that just came out yesterday, 45% still said they're undecided. And if those people, if a huge share of that 45% falls behind either Crowley or Barnes, certainly Kelder Roys and Joel Brennan would be categorized as long shots at this point. But that's basically what's got to happen. If it's the only way it's not Francesca Hong at this point, in almost all certainty, Greg, is will almost all of these undecided voters fall behind either David Crowley or Mandela Barnes.
Yeah, we are expecting a new MU law poll out. The one that you're referencing, AJ, it's slightly flawed. I guess the number that really stands out is that 45% undecided. But, that poll was not inclusive of David Crowley. It was inclusive of Sarah Rodriguez, and things have certainly changed with them since that poll was sent out into the field. So I think the folks at MU Law said, all right, we need a new one. We got to act on this pretty quick, right? So I would imagine the results will be slightly different. Is it possible to even project what the new poll that will be more accurate with the candidates will reveal?
Well, it'll certainly be interesting to see, did David Crowley quickly get all of that previously stated support for Sarah Rodriguez and then some? Is he got enough of a boost yet to, at minimum, be close to Mandela Barnes, to say nothing of Francesca Hong? And to your point, the fact that Crowley is not in the poll that came out yesterday and Rodriguez is, in terms of just the snapshot of the field, that means there's not a ton you can glean from it. What I would say is something you can at least look at and say, that's interesting, is in the hypothetical head-to-head matchups with the GOP nominee, Tom Tiffany, you had Hong losing that hypothetical matchup, Barnes winning it. Now, when you factor in the margin of error, both races become extremely close. The Hong one would be falling within that margin of error. But still, certainly Barnes's campaign is banging that drum, saying, hey, in these hypothetical head-to-heads, Mandela Barnes beats Tom Tiffany, Francesca Hong loses to him. That's something that certainly we want to see, and I don't know for certain if this one that's coming out next Wednesday will have a fresh round of head-to-heads. But beyond how the field is shaping up, that's certainly what people in high levels within the Democratic Party are looking at closely. It's how do these individual candidates match up against Tom Tiffany? Can they win in November?
So they're going at each other on the Democratic side here. Strategically speaking, AJ, what are you seeing from Tom Tiffany's campaign? It feels like the amount of press releases I receive are fewer and fewer each and every week, almost like he's, let the Democrats battle it, let them be in the headlines for the wrong reason. I'll just sit back and strategically place notes where I need them.
I think that's exactly what's happening here. There's not really much of a reason at this point for him to get out there, aside from just taking in donations and running ads, which he's doing. Tom Tiffany is on the air. He is running ads. And he can just operate at that pace while the Democrats beat up on each other. We saw 4 years ago, the roles were reversed, where this time of year, it was Tim Michels and Rebecca Clayfish going at each other and kind of lobbing bombs at each other, while Tony Evers got to just sit and map out what his reelection general campaign would look like. Now it's the Democrats having to sort this out in a primary that is getting increasingly messy, increasingly nasty. And certainly Tom Tiffany would see no reason to get involved other than to occasionally chime in from the peanut gallery when something embarrassing or potentially bad befalls one of the Democratic candidates. He can just jump in and say, hey, look at that.
Going to be a race to August 11th. We do have a televised debate scheduled for next week. And a lot of these issues that you're hearing about and seeing are going to resurface, I would imagine, over the course of that evening. AJ Bayatpour, CBS 58 political reporter, joining us here. We appreciate it, AJ. Great insight.
Thanks, Greg. Appreciate you having me.
You bet. It's 12:49 here on WTMJ. We celebrate an everyday hero after this.
For growing businesses, digital marketing shouldn't be a gamble. If your business needs results, not guesswork, it's time for a different approach. At Margle Media, we deliver real results for businesses in an evolving digital world. Backed by data, guided by strategy, and focused on actionable outcomes. We partner with businesses of all sizes to drive growth locally or nationwide. Set up a free consultation today. Visit us at marglemedia.com. That's MARGLE media.com.
Well, get ready for a win-plosion this July at Potawatomi Casino Hotel. It's happening right now. Your chance to win $300,000 in cash in prizes at Potawatomi. All you got to do is play with your Potawatomi rewards card. If you don't have one, no problem. Free to sign up. Just do it at the casino. Prize drawings happen every Thursday this July, including today. Plus, all your win-plosion prize drawings go toward the grand finale prize drawing. That'll be in September. Really cool stuff, as always, at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. For details, visit Potawatomi.com.
Every homeowner has a list. That roof, those windows, that bathroom you've been meaning to update. If you've been putting off home improvements, you're not alone. At Exterior Pros and Baths, they help homeowners upgrade their homes with beautiful roofing, siding, windows, doors, gutters, and bathrooms built to last. Right now, save up to $3,000 on your next project. Don't wait until a small problem becomes an expensive one. Call 262-800-4274 or visit extpros.com. Exterior Pros and Baths. Done right, built to last.
Hey, it's Kristen Bry from Point Taken on 620 WTMJ. You know, in radio, people hear your voice first. But when I'm out in the community, meeting listeners or hosting events, I'm told that my smile is my signature. That's why I trust Dr. James Michaels and the team at Economawalk Dental Care with my smile. And yes, I drive all the way from Milwaukee to Economawalk to see Dr. Michaels and his incredible staff. Because when you find a dental team that makes you feel comfortable, listened to, and cared for, that drive is worth it. Dr. Michaels has been practicing in Economawalk for more than 25 years. And his approach is simple. Treat people the way they want to be treated. Whether you're due for a cleaning, thinking about cosmetic options, or just need a dental home where you feel at ease, call Economawalk Dental Care at 262-567-7224. That's 262-567-7224, or visit drmichaelsdentalcare.com. Economawalk Dental Care with Dr. James Michaels, the team I trust with my smile.
The stories you're talking about on Wisconsin's Morning News.
There have been rumblings that outside groups are going to start doing this big, massive push for it in the end. But if you're an outside group, do you have faith in Sarah Rodriguez right now to do that? Do you see a path for her?
Would we anticipate anyone else dropping out of the race before the primary?
Look, campaigns ask two questions. Do I have a path to victory and have the resources to get there? The answer becomes no. Why are you in the race? So if anybody says no and no, they'll be out.
Only here on WTMJ.
Nice day today, high around 80 degrees, just a little south of that. You might hit it inland. Overnight low 52 degrees, plenty of sunshine, little mix of clouds. Tomorrow's high 80 degrees, back into the mid-80s on Saturday. Could hit 90 degrees on Sunday, and a slight chance of a shower on Sunday afternoon or evening. It's 77 degrees, partly cloudy in Milwaukee at 12:53. Time again to celebrate an everyday hero. Weekly story as told by WTMJ's Eric Bilstad.
An everyday hero is when Wisconsin's Morning News celebrates an average John or Jane Doe who had no idea when they got up one morning they'd be saving a life. We head to Morrison, Illinois. Think Western Illinois, near the Quad Cities area. Have you ever driven on the roadway and seen a car on the side of the road and just driven past? Maybe it was empty, maybe not. You just didn't really pay that much attention. Well, 16-year-old Randy Gerlach was driving to work on a county road. You know these rural roads, they can go about 45 to 55 miles per hour. Usually it's one lane in both directions. Well, Randy spotted a car off to the side.
I didn't know what might have been going on.
Randy tells KWQC TV 6 News the car appeared to be sitting kind of funny, half in the ditch. He didn't see anybody. He noticed other cars were just driving by. But he couldn't shake the feeling that something just wasn't right.
I wasn't sure if something actually happened or if they just kind of accidentally went too far on the shoulder and just went in. So I turned around in town.
So Randy gets into town, turns the car around, and heads back to the scene. This is a 16-year-old, mind you. Randy gets to the vehicle, finds the car is still running, and inside, a woman unconscious at the wheel. He immediately grabs his phone.
Called 911 and did what they told me and just went through the whole thing until they got here.
The woman immediately taken to the hospital and is now recovering, all thanks to this teenager who was attentive enough to not only notice something didn't look right, but to act on it too.
Mostly just right place at the right time, and then that I actually did the right thing, not just kept going.
Appreciate the humility there, Randy. His advice to others who may notice something that just looks a bit off.
Go with your gut and listen to what the dispatcher, whoever you called, is telling you to do.
Thank you, Randy Gerlach. You are an everyday hero. Eric Bilstead, WTMJ News.
It's here. Fox World Travel's exclusive July sale is back. Now's the time to lock in your preferred dates and rates at all-inclusive resorts with Apple Vacations to Mexico and the Caribbean with nonstop flights. Plus, new this year, exclusive discounts on European vacation packages. Visit foxworldtravel.com or call 866-GO-FOX-GO. Secure your paradise with just a deposit. The sale ends July 24th. Don't miss out.
Hey, sounds good, Rose. Greg Matzik here for Soren's Ford on Capitol Drive in Brookfield. Right in the heart of Brookfield is where you will find Soren's Ford, home of the nice guys. A business that started back in 1917, still family owned. The Soren's family is still behind Soren's Ford. In fact, it's fourth generation family owned, and that is not an accident. They do it right. They do it the right way with a quality buying experience and ownership experience for you. Whether it's a new Ford, a used Ford, one of a variety of different models, they've got it for you. Great inventory at sorensford.com. Check out sorens.com. It's SOERENS. You'll see what I'm talking about. Take a trip to the dealership, and if you need a service update or appointment, no problem. In fact, Sorens came to us when we needed an oil change and tire rotation. No problem, Greg. We'll pick up the vehicle. You can stay home, do your work, whatever you need to do. We'll bring the vehicle back when it's done. That is incredible service. It's Soren's Ford. If they don't have what you're looking for, no problem. They'll get to work finding it for you. That's service. That's Sorens. SOERENS.com. Visit Sorens.com.
For more than a century, Curative Care has been helping children, adults, and families across southeast Wisconsin navigate developmental disabilities and find the support they need to thrive. Curative helps families every step of the way, from early childhood through adulthood, connecting parents with resources, providing guidance during challenging times, and creating a community where people truly belong. If you know someone who may be looking for answers and support for a loved one with developmental disabilities, visit curative.org today.
Summer is the time to enjoy the outside. Enjoy the deck, the patio, the fire pit, the shade, the screen room, the in-ground pool. Enjoy all of it in your own backyard. Outdoor Living Unlimited is Wisconsin's top TimberTech decking installer and can deliver a design and build your next maintenance-free deck with a custom screen room and automated pergola. Stop by our Outdoor Living Unlimited showroom at 665 Larry Court in Waukesha or visit OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Accident Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Brian Wicker, Chief Homebuyer Helper with Wisconsin's own Accident Mortgage. Nicer homes are still getting multiple offers over asking, and there's only one winner per listing. I want to help you be that winner, which is why I just increased the Rock Solid Pre-Approval Guarantee to $10,000. It's all about getting the seller to pick your offer over the others. So AccuNet is now guaranteeing in writing to pay the seller 10,000 American bucks if we can't make good on the terms of your fully verified Rock Solid Pre-Approval. Banks don't do that. We're willing to stand behind our work and stand behind you with a $10,000 guarantee that sellers will definitely notice. Maybe you've been writing offers and losing, which feels terrible, or maybe you're just starting out. Either way, don't settle for a flimsy bank pre-approval and let someone else end up sleeping in your dream home. Give the seller 10,000 reasons to say yes to your offer with AccuNet's new $10,000 rock-solid seller guarantee. Get started with yours today at accunet.com.
Slide into your neighborhood Century Food store to score the freshest produce, tastiest treats, and everything in between. Now through Wednesday, save on fresh 90% lean ground beef, $5.99 a pound, 1 pound fresh strawberries, $3.49, large sweet peaches, $2.49 a pound, 7 to 10 ounce selected varieties, essential everyday potato chips or salty snacks, 2 for $4.
It's a long fly ball.
What?
Safe.
Every time I scan, what is happening?
A leaping grab at the wall.
Okay, fine, I'll play. Get a load of this watermelon. And here's the pitch.
Please wait for assistance.
Win Century Foods Ultimate Fan Experiences at Milwaukee baseball games. Throw out the first pitch, hold the ribbon for the Johnsonville famous sausage race, or watch batting practice from the field.
Ooh, what do I do?
Complete the entry form in Century's weekly ad and return to the store.
Ah, no, what happened here?
Oh, self-checkout couldn't handle my heater. Here, I filled out my entry form. Gotta go. Have a great day.
I'll go get the mop.
Enter by August 5th.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
Stay up to date with your trusted and relevant source in news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 101. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Thursday, July 23rd. Your top story, a candlelight vigil planned in Madison.
I'm Neil Doyle, and for Jessica Ty, big news from the Wisconsin Badgers.
Nice day today. Temperatures topping out about 78 degrees. Sunny conditions primarily. Partly cloudy tonight, a low of 62. It's 76 and partly cloudy in Milwaukee at 101. From the WTMJ breaking newsroom, a vigil planned tonight in Madison after a man was shot and killed by police.
The man was in his 30s. His name has not been released, but Madison police say he had a knife. The community gathering was planned over social media by various social justice advocacy groups. The Madison Common Council has postponed a scheduled listening session related to the incident. Council President Sabrina Madison says she plans to attend the vigil, and a new time will be set at a later date. The vigil is planned for 5 p.m., though many protesters have been on scene since the shooting occurred. Elizabeth Linton in WTMJ News.
An early morning semi-crash closing a highway in Racine County.
Northbound 329 over 0, semi-burst van, huge fireball, unknown object still on fire.
That's scanner audio from Broadcastify. Sheriff's deputies responding around 5 o'clock this morning to I-94 near County K. The semi crashed into a car and then exploded into flames. The blaze causing all of the lanes of I-94, both north and southbound, to close for several hours this morning. Still unclear if anyone was hurt.
The Department of Homeland Security says the thousands of ineligible voters registered to vote in New Jersey is a drop in the bucket compared to other states. News Nation's Joe Khalil reports the French company behind the voting machine says it's not responsible.
They went on to say that information submitted by them must be validated and adjudicated by the Division of Elections. So are they passing the buck, sort of, in that statement, saying there must be another level of check there? Now, Homeland Security did release this claim that they say 250,000 people who are non-citizens were eligible to vote and were registered in New Jersey, in California, Pennsylvania, and Nevada. So far, however, we've not seen any evidence of that.
Of the thousands illegally registered to vote in New Jersey, it's believed fewer than 400 of them actually did cast a ballot.
President Trump announcing on social media a new condition to the nuclear deal struck with Saudi Arabia.
President Trump now says that the nuclear deal his administration announced with Saudi Arabia is contingent on Saudi Arabia joining the Abraham Accords and normalizing relations with Israel. Israel said this would be a, quote, historic leap forward for peace in the Middle East. But the Saudis have long said joining the Abraham Accords is contingent on a path to a Palestinian state. And there is no response so far from the Saudis confirming the president's social media post. Less than 24 hours ago, the Energy Department announced Secretary Chris Wright and the Saudi Minister of Energy had signed this landmark nuclear agreement, and it was being transmitted to Congress for review. Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
Badger sports are returning to WTMJ this fall under a new multi-year partnership between Wisconsin Athletics and Good Karma Brands. Wisconsin Badgers football, men's basketball, and women's volleyball will air on WTMJ and 94.5 ESPN. Badgers hockey will also have a home in our family. Longtime voice of the Badgers, Matt LePay, says it feels like a bit of a homecoming.
I remember when I first moved here in the late 80s, working a little bit with Jim Irwin. People here who've been here a while, you certainly know the name, a legendary broadcaster in our state. And that was a big thrill for me, just learning the ropes a little bit, just being around him for a couple of years, but we just think it's a perfect match.
Coverage begins September 6th when the Badgers football team opens up its season against Notre Dame at Lambeau Field.
Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. It's been a rough day across the board. The NASDAQ down more than 2% at 25,098. The Dow down 1% at 51,596. And the S&P 500 off more than 100 points. That's over 1% as well at 7,390. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 1:05.
Some things can steal your sunshine.
Ugh, I just got my hair done.
Sorry, the cooler's broken. Anyone see my flip-flops? Anyone?
But COVID-19 can steal a lot more.
I just took a COVID test. Ugh.
Prescription medications for COVID exist. If you test positive this summer, ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com/COVID-19 to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Point!
Hey, you okay? You don't normally miss those shots.
Ugh, I just haven't been as regular lately, and it's making me feel sluggish.
You should try Metamucil. It's been a game changer for me. Metamucil's plant-based psyllium fiber helps trap and remove the waste that weighs you down.
Ace!
You're moving better than you were last week.
Definitely.
Metamucil keeps you moving. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Learn more at Metamucil.com.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here. For pilots and aviation lovers, there's nothing like making a trip to EAA AirVenture Oshkosh. July 20th through the 26th, get up close to thousands of aircraft, learn about the newest innovation, get hands-on with experts, and witness breathtaking daily air shows, some even at night. There's no better way to immerse yourself into the world of aviation than by checking out the world's greatest aviation celebration. Fuel your passion for flight. EAA.org is the website. July 20th through the 26th, EAA.org.
When your car or truck needs service, you should take it to a specialist. I'm Deb Cruz, president of the Auto Dealers Association of Macon, Milwaukee. Adam member new car dealers have factory warranted parts, the latest diagnostic equipment, and certified manufacturer technicians. Plus, their prices are low or lower than independent shops, even on routine things like oil changes and tire service. Knowing all that, why would you ever consider going anywhere other than an Adam member dealer?
A well-maintained car delivers better gas mileage and saves you money.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. How about Joey Ortiz, the Brewers' third baseman, since returning to third on a bit of a tear at the plate, hitting over 300 in the month of July.
I think just a weight off his shoulders and playing with some freedom here to go back to third base where he's had success in the past, and man, he's a ton of fun to watch. Almost hit for the cycle yesterday, and to finish the game the way he did with that diving play to end it was spectacular. I mean, it's awesome to watch what he's doing right now.
Brewers president of baseball operations, Matt Arnold. No game for the Brewers today. They welcome in the Rockies for a 3-game weekend series beginning Friday afternoon at 3 o'clock. An afternoon start on a Friday because of the Brewers alumni game, which is scheduled to begin shortly after that contest. And the countdown to Packers training camp is on. Rookies and select veterans scheduled to report July 27th. Head coach Matt LaFleur hopeful that tight end Tucker Kraft will be ready to go for Week 1 against the Vikings.
Tuck looks great right now. You want him out there. He looks so good. You want to put him out there, but certainly we're still early in that process, and hopefully he'll be ready to go either by training camp or early in training camp.
Kraft tore his ACL in November. Training camp practice number 1 scheduled for July 29th.
Take a look at the roads. Your WTMJ time saver traffic. Not seeing anything too major. We are seeing a bit of a slowdown, though, as you are coming out of the Hale interchange westbound, or I should say eastbound on 894. Tapping the brakes a bit. We did have an incident there about an hour or so ago, but looks like that's been cleared, but still a bit slow in that stretch until you get past 76th. And then other delays as well, 94 east and westbound. Tapping the brakes a bit through the stadium interchange. Otherwise, everything else looking good.
Nice day today, a touch warmer, sunny, beautiful, high of 78 degrees, partly cloudy tonight, a low of 62. Similar situation on Friday, sunny with a high of 78, warm and humid on Saturday, high 85, back to 90 with a chance of storms on Sunday. 77 and partly sunny in Milwaukee at 110.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzik, and in for Jessica Ty, it's Neil Doyle.
Mentioned the Brewers alumni game coming up on Friday afternoon. We're going to talk with Brewers alum Jeremy Jeffress coming up in just a few minutes. Jeff Jenkins will join our show tomorrow. Everybody getting ready for this thing. Kind of a build on that home run derby they had last year, Neil, which was a crazy wild success and a fun way to cap off a long day at the ballpark, but a great one.
I was out there for the alumni home run derby last year. Yeah, a ton of fun. So I would have to imagine it's going to be a fun one tomorrow.
And now it's time for 3 Big Things on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Number one, 2 people unaccounted for following severe flooding in West Virginia. Governor Patrick Morrisey says there's progress in the state's response to that flooding across the north central part of the state.
Over 100 efforts, the swift boats that came in, local, DNR. We had over 10 drones that were operating, 10 choppers that were busy is helping in terms of the search and rescue efforts. A real collaboration between folks on the local level and the state level.
Had about 7 inches of rain that triggered this historic flash flooding across the north central part of the state, impacting a number of towns. It just completely washed out. West Virginia National Guard deployed helicopters and swift water teams. They had about 85 rescues. But I mentioned about 2, or at least 2, remain unaccounted for at this point. Roughly 30,000 individuals remain without power.
SpaceX hoping that repairs to its Starship spacecraft's engines and also the some of the other systems within it are able to then lead to a successful launch coming up this afternoon. A little bit more from News Nation's Xavier Walton, who is in Dallas, Texas.
So this test flight is about much more than getting one rocket off the ground. SpaceX says Starship is designed to carry larger payloads into space, including 20 test Starlink satellites on this flight, and then eventually support NASA's plans to return astronauts to the moon with longer-term goals of missions to Mars. So every successful test mission helps move those missions one step closer.
For those who like to keep track of SpaceX, you might remember last week they had a mission, but it was scrubbed with like a second to go before it was supposed to lift off. They had some issues, so scheduled to relaunch again today. The launch window opening up at about 5:45 our time.
And the Trump administration says it'll expand a voluntary pledge that urges AI companies to foot the utility costs for any new data center being constructed.
The pledge today is being expanded to acknowledge all elements involved in building and operating data center, the governors who appoint the state regulators who set the power prices, the utilities and the co-ops that sell the power, and in addition to the tech companies that have already signed the pledge.
That's White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt. Under the 5 major pillars of the agreement, AI and tech firms must negotiate separate utility rate structures to fund their own power generation. They must also cover the upfront costs of grid updates, pay for reserve capacity, even if it goes unused, and allow local grids to use their added infrastructure for emergency backup power. Alumni Day at the ballpark on Friday. One of the Brewers alum participating, Jeremy Jeffress, will join us after this.
Save big on everything for your next project when you shop at Menards. Update your living spaces with new flooring. Mohawk laminate floors are durable, waterproof, and easy to install, making them perfect for active households. Enjoy the look and feel of wood flooring with Mohawk Perfect Seal Solutions laminate flooring. On sale now through July 26th. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for more great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
For 70 years, Geist has been the trusted garage authority in the state of Wisconsin. Such wonderful people and experts in the business. It's Geist, trusted in the state for 7 decades. If you got a busted garage door, don't let it get you down. Call my friends at Geist with brands like CHI and LiftMaster in stock and ready to go. You can have a quick turnaround time for your project. That is great with those great brands. Doors and openers for every budget. Custom design center. Whatever it is to meet your exact needs, they have it for you at Geist. Swift and reliable garage repair solutions are ready for you. Visit GeistDoors.com. Stop by the showroom in Brookfield off Barker Road. Don't think twice. Call Geist and visit GeistDoors.com.
When your business is growing, you may think you need a big bank with tall buildings and more people. But bigger doesn't always mean better. Not when you're waiting on answers or trying to move quickly on an opportunity. I'm James Showalter, President and CEO of Port Washington State Bank. Here you get the tools, the experience, and the kind of service that keeps things moving, no matter how big your business gets. Because when it matters, you don't need bigger, you just need better. Port Washington State Bank. We get you here.
Number FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Brew Crew Tuesdays are back on August 4th.
Curio sends it deep to left, and there she goes!
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they play the Pittsburgh Pirates.
And Yelich launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh my goodness, third deck.
This edition of Brew Crew Tuesdays is presented by Local Union 2150 IBEW. Tune in August 4th at 6:40 on Fox 6 in Milwaukee, or check your local listings to watch the game.
Enjoy the day today, 78 degrees, good deal of sunshine, a little bit of clouds, overnight low 60 degrees. Tomorrow's high 78, similar conditions, plenty of sunshine. Back into the mid-80s on Saturday, could hit 90 degrees on Sunday with a slight chance of a storm. It's 78 in Milwaukee at 116.
3 balls, 2 strikes. He's got the sign. He's ready to work. Here it is. He struck him out swinging. And the inning is over. Jeremy Jeffress strikes out Trevor Story to end the Colorado threat.
Part of a magical 2018 playoff run for the Milwaukee Brewers that ended 1 win away from a World Series appearance. Expecting a little 98-mile-an-hour heat from Jeremy Jeffress during Friday's Brewers alumni game at American Family Field. JJ joins us on the line. Hey, Jeremy.
Hey, bud. How we doing?
Get out and fire some gas. Are you going to be pitching at this alumni game? Do you know what your role is yet?
No, you said 98 miles an hour. Let's subtract about 20, 25. And we'll get it there.
Okay. But are you going to be relied on to pitch? I think that was a big question. Like, wait a minute, are pitchers going to throw?
I might, man. We'll see. It's a little draft, so I mean, they draft too many pitchers that I might not have to. So.
Okay. So is this schoolyard style draft? So you don't know what team you're on yet, right?
No, I don't. I thought I did at first, but it switched it up on me. So we'll see what happens.
Well, this is going to be a really fun night. So the Brewers, if you look at your schedule, they got a 3:10 game on Friday, which is a very rare start time for a home game, but it's because of this alumni game featuring roughly 30 Brewers alumni. Has the trash talking begun yet on this, Jeremy? I guess that in some respects you could be trash talking someone who will be on your team, but I think everybody's vying to show that they're still in shape a little bit.
Yeah, everybody's just worried about that. We're just trying to have the Advil ready. All the we can't even warm up. Get in the hot tub or anything, but everybody's, we're talking a little bit, but my guy Eddie Cedars down there is doing his little inside scoop and seeing who's ready and prepared and all that stuff, who's been throwing and all that. But, I guess the guys are just coming to see what is going to happen.
Hey, when you heard they were doing this alumni game, and I'm sure you're aware, they did the kind of alumni home run derby last year, and that was a huge success. So, knowing they were doing the game again this year, did you know you wanted to be involved right away?
Yeah, for sure. I got a bunch of calls, couple text messages to see how I was doing, what I was up to. And when I came out here to the Vince Lombardi golf tournament, Someone made sure they asked me if I can join, and I was, excited and well pleased to come out, because I missed the guys.
Well, you had such a great run with the Brewers, Jeremy. I think if people remember you, of course, and 2018 was a magical year. I don't know if people remember that you had a stint with a couple of other teams, but it just feels like your name is synonymous with Milwaukee Brewers baseball. Does it feel that way to you, even though you did play for Texas and even finished with that team to the south?
Yeah, no, Milwaukee's always been my home, man. I'm telling you, since you guys drafted me, leaving and coming back a couple times, and it's always been, a blessing to come back to somewhere, the team knows you and raise you up all through the minor leagues. But yeah, I feel like I'm very much a Milwaukee Brewer for sure.
I know you said obviously getting to see the guys and coming back is probably going to be the highlight, but anything else you're kind of looking forward to as you will be back here in town?
Just more of the trash talk, but more of the trash talk with the guys. But playing golf, I always love playing golf here. A couple of places, me and Axatelli played this morning. I'm over at Ironwood, but every time I come back, golfing and definitely getting out to get some food is a couple of things I'm making sure I do.
I know it feels like home to you and so many, and you had the formative years of your career here. Does it feel like you've been removed from baseball for 6 years? I mean, your last year you pitched was with the Cubs in 2020. Does it feel like ancient history? Does it feel like yesterday?
It does kind of feel like coming back definitely makes it feel like yesterday. But when you get out on the field and getting the running and throwing, it's been a while since I've been on the diamond. But, coming back, it feels like riding a bike, man. Getting back into the city and into the swing of things, it just feels like riding a bike.
How are you keeping yourself busy this time of year, or just throughout the days?
Throughout the days, I'm back. I live in Phoenix, and there's nothing but golf in there. I do a lot of dealing with long drives. So I am golfing, but I do a lot of long drive stuff out there. And then my daughter, she's in flag football. She's 12 years old now. So it's her, and that is taking majority of my time.
What's your handicap?
They want to know that, don't they? I'm right now, I'm probably about a 7 or 8. But, when I'm playing consistently and not worried about trying to hit it so far, I can get down to a 4.
So the long drive thing is really interesting, Jeremy. I've seen some other baseball players get involved in this. And even though you're a pitcher, there's just something about baseball players that the hand-eye coordination is just different with baseball players. So when did you start this up?
The long drive or just playing golf?
Yeah, the long drive.
The long drive just happened recently, probably about a year and a half ago. I was just going to practice one day out in Phoenix, and they was holding a long drive tournament, Arizona Long Drive. That's what it's called. And the guy was just like, "Hey, man, your swing looks pretty good. You want to try out?" He was like, "It's just $40 to register. Get in there, hit 5 balls, see how far you can hit it." And dude, and when I tell you, it just took me for a whirlwind. I just kept on playing into it. Got my name out there, told them where I was, and it's been a blessing, man. To be honest.
It kind of fuels some competitive desire, right, Jeremy? I think I've heard from other athletes I've talked to that, they retire, but they're just so used to competing in something. Does this help?
Yeah, that's the biggest thing, is the competitive nature, that we still have once the game is over. I'm talking about, I don't think we're ever going to lose that. I don't care how old we get. The competitive spirit that we have, everything that we get into, we got to be the best at. So, and especially with pitchers, we're so critiqued at everything what we're doing. This long drive, it's about strength, but at the same time, you got to hit it right, in order to get that distance. So, in long drive, you got a little competition in there, and that's the biggest thing we're looking for, but it's also, just about the critiqueness of the driving.
Yeah, I'm curious, too, with the game tomorrow. It's been a number of years removed from the game of baseball. Did you have to go out and, buy new gear to be ready to go?
No, they asked us if we had any stuff that we could bring. If not, they'll provide us with a little bit of stuff. But, the Brewers take care of us, and they always have, and they always will. But, I brought my glove. I definitely brought my glove out here. I can't play with no other gloves of mine.
Well, I'm going to be curious to see where you are in the field and where you are in the batting order, right? I mean, I know some pitchers like to hit. You never really got that chance. One of the great criminal things about your career is that you never really got a chance to hit.
I didn't early in the beginning. I got a couple of at bats, and that's all I wanted. I faced Garrett Cole, Urena, Javi Guerra, and I faced one other minor league. He just got called up, and I didn't do too well. So I'll stay out the box if they really need me to.
Jeremy, what do you make of today's pitchers who are throwing comfortably over 100 miles an hour? Of course, a guy like Jacob Mizorowski is an anomaly with what he's doing, but it seems like when you played, and it's not that long ago, if a dude threw 100, everybody knew who that guy was. And now it's every team has got somebody.
Yeah. And I started seeing that, probably like my third year in the show, seeing in the minor leagues how these arms are getting developed and what the analytics is teaching these guys just on ball speed, spin rate, all that stuff. And I knew it was coming, to be honest with you, and they was telling us, like, dude, all these guys behind you, they're coming quick because they're learning a lot of stuff off the analytics, how well to train their body in the off season. And like I said, it's impressive to see half the guys in the league throwing over 100 miles an hour.
I just don't know what to make of a dude throwing 104 in the 8th inning.
Yeah.
Like, it just doesn't make sense to me what Miz is able to do.
Yeah, and I believe it because, when I was a starter coming up in the game, I got stronger as I went on. And that's what good starters do. If you see a good starter getting stronger as he goes on in the game, that's a good pitcher. Because, with the mentality, the body strength, and to be able to continue to throw that hard after throwing 60 to 70 pitches, it's unbelievable.
Well, JJ, it was always a lot of fun to watch you on the mound. I remember that magical playoff run in 2018 and talking to you in Los Angeles. That feels like a memory from just yesterday, and it's going to be a lot of fun seeing you back on the field in Milwaukee this weekend.
Yes, sir. I really do appreciate it, man. I had a lot of fun times here.
Well, good stuff, JJ. Thanks for joining us. I hope the golf game went well. We'll check in again soon.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
Yeah, take care. JJ, Jeremy Jeffers joining us here. One of the good dudes, man. I covered him for so many years and spending time together in spring training, getting to know him a little bit. Just one of the great quality guys in that Brewers clubhouse. That 2018 season was a magical season. A lot of those guys are going to be back for the alumni game on Friday.
It's going to be fun to see them.
No doubt. It is 1:26 here on WTMJ. If you miss any bit of our show, check out our podcast page at WTMJ.com or subscribe to the Wisconsin's Midday News podcast, built by Siding Unlimited.
Hey, Wisconsin, it's construction season, and the Wisconsin DOT wants to help you safely navigate work zones in your area. Check 511wi.gov or download the free 511 app to see current road work, closures, detours, and camera views on your route. Wherever your travels take you, know before you go with 511wi.gov. That's 511wi.gov. And remember, know before you go. Always park the phone while driving. Sponsored by the Wisconsin DOT.
Well, having someone on your side when life happens can make all the difference. How about a team that's focused on exploring opportunities and strengthening your financial plan so you don't have to worry about doing it alone? Greg Matzik here for Annex Wealth Management, and that's exactly what they've done for us. If you're looking ahead to a retirement date this year or down the road, and you want a clear plan so you can enjoy the life that you've worked so hard for, Annex works with you to build personalized goals and a specific, tailored, custom retirement plan for you. Annex Wealth Management also invites you to their Instant Insight, the Fed and the Markets seminar. It's coming up on July 29th, 3 o'clock, and it's an interactive webinar. It'll discuss how the Fed's announcement might affect your retirement plan and the impacts of the latest Fed data on some of your life decisions, which could include finding a home or finding a way to settle into that retirement, making sure that you protect and have enough for the long term. Annex will take your questions. They'll help you understand what might happen the rest of the year. Check out the events tab at annexwealth.com. Check out annexwealth.com and know the difference with Annex Wealth Management.
Every homeowner has a list. That roof, those windows, that bathroom you've been meaning to update. If you've been putting off home improvements, you're not alone. At Exterior Pros and Baths, they help homeowners upgrade their homes with beautiful roofing, siding, windows, doors, gutters, and bathrooms built to last. Right now, save up to $3,000 on your next project. Don't wait until a small problem becomes an expensive one. Call 262-800-4274 or visit extpros.com. Exterior Pros and Baths. Done right, built to last.
So, Dad, what gives with the square pizzas?
Well, Marty wanted to be different, but little did he know that he was giving everyone a real value. We figured it out. Our 12-inch square pizza covers 27% more space than a 12-inch round.
A bigger pizza and a better value.
Yep, 27% more.
Marty's Pizza in Delafield.
And martyspizza.net for easy online ordering.
Register online for Red Card Loyalty, and after 15 pizzas, you'll get your next one free!
Remember Marty's Pizza. Do you remember when times were good? Well, they're good again. It's as good today as it was in the past. It doesn't get any better than that. Remember Marty's Pizza.
Vince Vitrano here with your HVAC guy, Urban Heating and Cooling. How much longer does that furnace have? Question to ask my man Ryan. His family-owned business with his wife Ellie, based in Franklin. They serve all of southeast Wisconsin. Now, what Ryan most wants to do is help you get as much life out of that furnace that you've already got. But when you have him in for a tune-up, now he can give you an honest assessment on how much longer that older unit will hold out. Free estimate is always part of the deal, so you know it will fit your budget. Tell him Vinny sent you when you call urbanheatingandcooling.com.
It's 1:30. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Thursday, July 23rd. Your top story, another potential twist in the race for governor.
I'm Neil Doyle. A motorcycle giant looks to raise its sales.
Nice day today, high of 78 degrees. Partly cloudy tonight, a low of 62. Sunny on Friday and a high of 78. Back into the mid-80s on Saturday. Slight chance of rain on Sunday with a high of 90 degrees. It's 78 in Milwaukee at 1:30.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. In Madison, Wisconsin, protests broke out following a deadly encounter between police and a black man who has not yet been identified publicly. ABC's Pierre Thomas says video circulating online shows 3 shots were fired during the altercation.
Protesters marching through downtown Madison following a deadly encounter between police and a black man authorities say was armed with a knife.
No justice, no peace!
Police say officers were called for reports of a man checking vehicle doors. When officers tried to make contact, they say he fled on a bicycle. About a half hour later, officers catching up with him and a physical struggle ensued in a busy intersection.
The mayor is calling for protests to remain peaceful. After Bertha made landfall as a tropical storm yesterday east of New Orleans, remnants of that storm still triggering flash flooding along Gulf Coast states. Water rescues continuing in West Virginia today following severe flooding this week. Officials say 2 people are unaccounted for. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 1:31. Decision, Wisconsin, another issue surfacing for a candidate in the governor's race. An NBC News investigation found a Twitter account under the name Dirt McGurk that was registered to David Crowley's email address, posted offensive comments about women, race, and the LGBTQ community between 2010 and 2014. Crowley's campaign confirms the existence of the account, but says it was shared by 10 to 12 people. They insist Crowley did not write the inflammatory posts. In a statement, Crowley condemned the language, saying, quote, "I would never say these things." The report comes just days after Crowley re-entered the race for governor.
An 11-year-old girl is dead after a rollover crash in Fond du Lac County. Sheriff's deputies responding yesterday afternoon after a minivan carrying 3 children went off the road on County Highway V near Lime Road in the town of Eden. Investigators say the driver lost control, crossed over the center line, and hit the embankment, causing the van to roll several times. An 11-year-old died at the hospital. 3 others, including the driver, suffering minor injuries. The crash still under investigation.
Plans to slow traffic on Brady Street are moving forward. Milwaukee's Public Works Committee approving an agreement allowing the Brady Street Improvement District to share the cost of a new traffic calming feature between Farwell and Van Buren. The project includes 3 raised crosswalks and 6 curb bump outs. Alderman Alex Brower
is covering the entire costs of the levy assessment that would have been placed on those property owners. So I just really appreciate that. I think that demonstrates that the bid and the businesses along Brady Street are committed to the safety and well-being of everybody.
The proposal now heads to the Common Council for final approval.
Harley-Davidson raising its sales outlook despite a weaker second quarter. The Milwaukee-based motorcycle maker reported lower profit while revenue fell about 6% to $1.2 billion, citing higher material costs and other expenses. Harley still expects, though, stronger motorcycle sales throughout the rest of this year as it expands its lineup of more affordable bikes designed to attract younger riders.
Food safety is a vital part of maintaining Milwaukee's street festivals. The Milwaukee Health Department's Crowley says inspectors check everything from food temperature to sanitation and hand washing.
It's food safety, so do they have a proper hand wash setup? You guys might see it as like the Gatorade cooler with a bucket and soap and paper towels. We want to make sure they have a proper place to wash their hands. If they're serving hot foods, do they have the proper equipment to keep it hot? Do they have thermometers to check the temperatures of the food, as well as things like sanitizer?
Last year, MHD inspected over 133 unique events.
Sports, traffic, weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 1:34.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom-quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Sleep better and save more with mattresses from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in our Milwaukee factory, our mattresses utilize natural materials like cotton cushioning, which dissipates body heat, Joma wool quilts for warm wintry nights and cool summer evenings, and natural latex providing superior conformability and pressure relief for aching joints. Stop in today at any Ken Michaels Furniture store and save up to 50% compared to national brands.
$1 doesn't buy much unless you're spending it at Griffin. For just $1 over cost, you can buy brand new tires from us. This is Jim Griffin. Any major brand, $1 over our cost with free tire repair and lifetime rotation. We'll even show you the invoice to prove it. Our only requirements, we put them on for you. Buy one or the whole set. The dollar deal from Griffin. Milwaukee and Waukesha. Griffin. The buck stops here, but the deals on tires don't. That's Griffin.
Not combinable with other tire offers. No matter where you hear WTMJ, whether it be here...
So we are overlooking the bay. We're in the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin mobile studios.
Or there.
Here live in our Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin mobile studio.
Catch us at home or on the go. Thanks to Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
In the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin podcast studio.
We are live wherever you are. On the air and on the go. The Pella Windows and Doors podcast studio is live on WTMJ.com.
So, ladies, enjoying the charity bachelor auction so far? All right, next up, bid on a date with a true nice guy, a salesman from Soren's Ford in Brookfield.
At Soren's, we aim to please.
Woo! All right, we're going to start the bidding at $1,000 for a date with Mr. Nice Guy.
But I'm only quoted at $500.
Quiet, nice guy. Do I hear $1,200? $1,200?
$500, now wash your car for free.
What are you doing? She said $1,200.
Soren's Ford always offers the best deal possible.
Soren's Ford, 189th and Capitol in Brookfield. You won't find nicer guys or lower prices anywhere.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. A 9-game homestand continues Friday afternoon, I should say, for the Brewers taking on the Rockies. Jacob Mizorowski's next start being pushed back as the team works to manage its innings and the innings of all their young starters. Brewers president of baseball operations, Matt Arnold.
Certainly want to be conservative, but we also got to win games. You know, we have a long way to go and don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. You know, we're still in July here, and so we, obviously have a little bit of a lead here, but that can go away quickly. And so, we're gonna do what we can to push the guys, but also do it responsibly.
Brewers begin the day with a 7-game lead over the Cubs for first place in the NL Central. And the countdown to Packers training camp is on. Rookies and select veterans scheduled to report on the 27th. Packers head coach Matt LaFleur, hopeful tight end Tucker Kraft will be available for Week 1 against the Vikings.
Tuck looks great right now. You want him out there. He looks so good. You want to put him out there, but certainly we're still early in that process, and hopefully he'll be ready to go either by training camp or early in training camp.
Kraft tore his ACL in November. Green Bay's first training camp practice scheduled for July 29th.
Take a look at the roads. Your WTMJ time saver traffic. Still seeing some slowdowns as you head out of the Hale interchange, 894 eastbound, kind of tapping the brakes. We did have a bit of an incident there earlier. Looked like some police activity, but still a bit slow through that stretch until you get past Loomis. Same thing, 94 east and westbound, as usual, tapping the brakes through the stadium interchange between Hawley and 35th. And a little bit slow as well. 41 in our work zone there. Southbound, you're slow starting at Silver Spring until you get past Capitol Drive. Full speeds then everywhere else.
Well, not a bad day to be stuck in traffic. At least the sun is shining. I'll put up the sunroof a little bit and taking some of the nice breeze. It's a nice day, a little fall-like even yesterday morning. Kind of an early fall vibe going into the day. I felt it.
I heard you say that yesterday. I'm like, really, fall in the summer? But it had that feel.
I didn't say I wanted it. I just said it was comfortable temperatures. But after the heat dome and all the smoke, like, this is a welcome treat. We welcome in TMJ4 meteorologist Jacob Montesano. Hey, Jacob.
Yeah, I definitely wanted this. I'm a big fan of some cooler temperatures, and this morning it was one of the first times in a while that you stepped outside and you actually kind of felt a little chilly if you didn't have a sweater on. It's not that case now, but definitely in the morning.
Well, definitely a welcome change. I mean, we were going through just about everything last week, and evading the heat meant a lot of wildfire smoke, so glad all of that is gone here. But what's bringing about the somewhat cooler than usual temperatures?
Yeah, so basically we had that cold front move through, really shifting the wind directions, and we had talked about last week in relation to the wildfire smoke. We had thought there was a good chance it could move back into the area, but thankfully it hasn't. And right now, at least in the near future, there is not expected to be wildfire smoke returning for the foreseeable future. Now, it's hard to say for sure beyond the next 48 hours about the wildfire smoke. It's still, it's not completely, we're not completely in the clear because there's still ongoing wildfires in Canada. But right now, the next few days, we'll continue to see some comfortable temperatures and very little smoke.
Very little smoke, really no precipitation in the forecast. I know we had earlier in the week maybe that chance for some stronger weather that didn't really develop, which I was okay with. But boy, oh boy, it feels like it's been quite drier. We're not dealing with any drought conditions right now, are we?
No, we actually are, especially around Milwaukee and areas just to the west. Now, farther south near the Illinois border, not as much of a case. Racine, Kenosha, not in that drought, but Milwaukee, extending west all the way to Oconomowoc, that's where moderate drought conditions have formed. And on this pace, now we still have, it is the 23rd, so we still got 8 days of July left, but right now, we are at the driest July on record, and there's not a ton of rain in the forecast. Our next chance of rain will be Sunday and Monday. That will bring in a chance of some severe weather, but right now the setup could very well be similar to what we saw this past Monday, where we just were capped and we never got those storms to develop in southeast Wisconsin. So we're definitely keeping an eye on it. Now, it's 4 to 5 days out. There's a lot that's expected to change in the forecast, but at the very least there is that chance. But I want to prepare everyone for potentially another kind of bust forecast, as we like to call it, when we forecast for severe weather and it ends up not happening.
Yeah, that was strange. I think it was Monday night. We were talking to Lauren. She's saying, well, yep, things are starting to materialize and develop here in Minnesota and starting to work its way into Wisconsin. And then it just shrunk. It all sort of dissolved. It was gone before you knew it.
Yeah, it really was it felt like it was almost only southeast Wisconsin, because south central, southwestern Wisconsin did get a few storms earlier in the day. But yeah, we really got nothing across our area from that.
So I guess we could say we are hoping for a little rain. Hopefully not severe weather, but rain would be nice.
Yeah, I definitely think we definitely need the rain at this point. As far as the severe extent goes, again, still very unclear as it's 4 to 5 days out. But what is a little bit more clear about that time frame is we are going to see the 90s return. Sunday, Monday, forecasted highs are right around 90. We'll still be in the 70s to lower 80s through the rest of this week, and also dry weather through the rest of this week. Then Sunday, Monday come, the chance of severe weather, mainly Sunday night and also Monday, and then we will see those 90s return. So if you like the cooler air, take advantage of the rest of today and tomorrow, because even Saturday will be a little bit warm, but certainly hot for Sunday and Monday.
All right, good stuff. WTMJ Storm Team 4 meteorologist Jacob Montesano. Appreciate it, Jacob. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
It's 1:42 on WTMJ. We'll do our weekly wellness check with Dr. Ben Weston after this.
Come on into Tyson's, more for you.
This summer, Tyson's is giving one lucky winner the ride of a lifetime. A 2026 Harley-Davidson Street Glide Liberty Edition or $30,000 cash. You pick. Entering is free. Visit your local Tyson's and scan the sweepstakes QR code. One entry per day, and you can come back every day for another chance to win. Sweepstakes run July 4th through September 7th. We'll see you there. No purchase necessary. Open to U.S. residents 18 and older. Void where prohibited. See official rules at Tysons.com.
Well, the folks at Gruber are ready to go to work for you, fighting your legal battle if you've been hurt in an accident while you focus on healing. Something they've been doing for 40 years here in the state of Wisconsin, while also giving back to the community. Gruber still operating today like it did back then, with a large and powerful team ready to take on the insurance companies, local, right here in Wisconsin, but a footprint that is national. They are nationally recognized as one of the premier injury law firms in the country. It's Gruber, located in Wisconsin, providing the best care, service, and representation, all top priorities for the folks at Gruber Law. Check out gruberlaw.com, gruber-law.com. Learn more about their business, what they can do for you, and what they do in the community. Then make that call if you've been hurt in an accident to 414-276-6666.
Lake Geneva. It's where families have been making memories around the water for generations. Lakeside resorts and spas, award-winning restaurants, and charming shops are just the beginning of an unforgettable summer getaway. Lake cruises, boating, and beach lounging let you soak up the sun, water, and family time. Hike a lakeshore path, stargaze from an iconic observatory, or soar above it all in a hot air balloon. Go ziplining, visit an animal safari, or see dancing horses. Start making your memories today at visitlakegeneva.com.
If you're near or at the EAA in Oshkosh, I urge you to visit the magnificent Mine Chef restaurant for a delicious and super affordable meal. The Wednesday and Friday haddock fish fry is all you can eat. It's only $8.99 near the EAA. Walk on in.
It's WTMJ's Debbie Loziga for Comfort Awnings. My motorized retractable awning is already saving me from that hot summer sun. I love that I can enjoy my patio year-round thanks to Comfort Awnings. I just retract it when I want the sun and extend it when I need the shade. Comfort Awnings even come equipped with sensors that detect rain and strong winds. This year, reclaim your outdoor space for your friends and family to enjoy every season Wisconsin has to offer. Right now, get $250 off any awning or screen. Call 414-AWNINGS or visit comfortawnings.com to learn more.
Slide into your neighborhood Century Food Store to score the freshest produce, tastiest treats, and everything in between. Now through Wednesday, save on fresh 90% lean ground beef, $5.99 a pound, 1 pound fresh strawberries, $3.49, large sweet peaches, $2.49 a pound, 7 to 10 ounce selected varieties, essential everyday potato chips or salty snacks, 2 for $4.
It's a long fly ball.
What?
Safe.
Every time I scan, what is happening?
A leaping grab at the wall.
Okay, fine, I'll play. Get a load of this watermelon. And here's the pitch.
Please wait for assistance.
Win Century Foods Ultimate Fan Experiences at Milwaukee baseball games. Throw out the first pitch, hold the ribbon for the Johnsonville famous sausage race, or watch batting practice from the field.
Ooh, what do I do?
Complete the entry form in Century's weekly ad and return to the store.
Oh, no, what happened here?
Oh, self-checkout couldn't handle my heater. Here, I filled out my entry form. Gotta go. Have a great day.
I'll go get the mop.
Enter by August 5th.
Prizes, flyaways, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting WTMJ.com/contests. That's WTMJ.com/contests.
Doctor, give me the news. I got a bad case of loving you. No pills gonna cure my...
Time for our weekly wellness check with Dr. Ben Weston, professor of emergency medicine at the Medical College of Wisconsin, chief health policy advisor for Milwaukee County. Hey, Dr. Weston.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing well. I can't believe that we're still talking about cyclosporiasis here, but maybe we'll bring that up in the back end. But lead is still a big deal here in the North America. We're trying to get to the bottom of that. 41 states, over 11,000. I didn't know it was going to blow up quite like it did when we spoke about this a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I mean, it's a ton of people affected. I think the important thing to remember is a lot of this is about basic hygiene, but in the scheme of things, you're still probably better off eating, especially washed lettuce, things that are in bags, than just giving up your veggies altogether. So certainly keep an eye out for symptoms. Go to your physician if you have them. But basic hygiene goes a long way.
Wanted to ask you about a situation involving former NBA star Brandon Clark. He played for the Memphis Grizzlies. He died recently from a suspected drug overdose, and there was some body cam footage that was released that showed Clark's arrest. And police found bags of Kratom in his car. It's sometimes called gas station heroin. I'd not heard of this before, Dr. Weston. Can you describe what it is?
Yeah, so Kratom or Kratom, it's a tree. It's native to Southeast Asia. Now, traditionally, the leaves are chewed or brewed into a tea, and that can increase energy, reduce fatigue, relieve pain. We also know that it has a lot of naturally occurring compounds, several that interact with the opioid receptors in the brain. Now, at lower doses, it can have stimulant-like effects, but at higher doses, interestingly, it actually sort of has the opposite, more sedative and pain-relieving effects. Interestingly, it's been banned in Wisconsin since 2014, but in a lot of states, it's easily purchased at gas stations, convenience stores, online, places that are not real well regulated, as you can imagine. They're labeled and sold as Kratom or Kratom, but they're not traditionally these leaf preparations. They're newer products, very high concentrations, lots of other synthetic additives, and that can be harmful.
Dr. Weston, are researchers studying this at all, maybe for any potential medical uses?
Yeah, absolutely. Now, the research is still in really early stages, and scientists continue to study whether the medicine or some of its active compounds could one day help with pain or opioid withdrawal. But to be clear, we're way early in this research. A lot more is needed to determine, dosing, effectiveness, long-term safety as well.
I suppose the FDA is probably looking into this as well, right? Because it's not at this point approved by the FDA?
That's right. It's not approved by the FDA to treat any medical condition, and it can be addictive. It has addictive properties as well. So it's important to note that just because a product claims to be natural, that doesn't mean it's safe or harmless. We've talked about this before. Anyone considering or currently using Kratom should talk with a healthcare professional. Avoid combining it with other things, alcohol, sedative medications, certainly opioids, and keep it, of course, out of reach of children.
Shift gears a little bit, talk a little mosquito, which certainly that time of year, DHS here in the state reporting this year's first confirmed case of West Nile virus. So, while, again, I feel like, Dr. Weston, we don't get too many human cases, this kind of serving as a reminder that certainly mosquito season in full effect. Just explain for people that aren't aware, what is West Nile virus and why should we be worried about it?
Yeah, I wouldn't be too worried. This is about the time of year when we hear about the first case every single year. And so it's not something to be worried about, but it is something to be cautious of. So for most people, West Nile virus doesn't cause much trouble. In fact, about 80% of folks who get infected don't even know they have it. They don't get any symptoms. The rest of the 20% may have symptoms like fever, body aches, headache, fatigue, these non-specific things that feel kind of like a summer cold or the flu. But for a small number of people, especially those who are more vulnerable, adults over 60, those with weakened immune systems, it can become much more dangerous, leading to inflammation of the brain or the membranes around the brain or the spinal cord. And this can lead to hospitalization, and in rare cases, it can even be fatal.
So how does it spread, Dr. Weston?
Yeah, so it spreads through a few different steps. So it usually starts an infected bird, especially baby birds, because they can't really fight off those mosquitoes by moving around. And so the birds can carry the virus in their bloodstream, and then when another mosquito comes along and feeds on it, that mosquito picks up the virus. After about a week of developing inside the mosquito, that mosquito goes along and bites a human, a horse, or some other animal and can pass it along. Now, humans don't develop high enough levels of the virus to pass it along, so birds are really where it is passed mosquito to mosquito, and that's why humans are considered dead-end hosts. You don't pass from a human to another person, but that's how it's spread, usually from birds to mosquitoes and then on to people.
Kind of run through best ways people should be protecting themselves to make sure they're not getting those bug bites and avoid West Nile.
Yeah, we all want to avoid bug bites, whether for West Nile or anything else, and there are good ways to avoid mosquito bites in general. So the main thing is avoiding exposure to mosquitoes. So you can use insect repellent. You want to look for some ones with certain products that are approved by the EPA and known to be effective. DEET is probably what you'll see most common. Picaridin, oil of lemon eucalyptus. These are all effective things to have in your insect repellent. And remember when they're most active. Dusk and dawn is really mosquito feeding time. So Things you can do: wear light-colored, long sleeves, long pants, especially if it's cooler outside like it has been recently. That'll help to protect you from mosquitoes if you're in an area with lots of mosquitoes. Keep them out of your home. Make sure your window screens are intact and they're well fitted without holes. The air conditioning will help to keep the mosquitoes around too, or away as well. And then think about where they breed. Any water. I mean, this can be the bottle cap full of water can breed a ton of mosquitoes. So any standing water around your house is going to lead to mosquitoes.
Hey, while we have you, Dr. Weston, wanted to ask you about this new cholesterol-lowering medication. I've seen it in the headlines. I'm trying to figure out if it's a real significant advancement or if more testing needs to be done. But high cholesterol is something that so many, millions of Americans can relate to, and it is a leading cause of death. Heart disease is a major issue in our state. So what are we looking at here?
Yeah, I mean, it is a big deal. And you're right. About 1 out of 4 U.S. adults have high bad or LDL cholesterol. Now, over time, this builds up in our arteries. It forms these plaques. It causes all sorts of issues and can lead to heart attacks, strokes, other forms of cardiovascular disease. Now, the drugs we typically see for lowering LDL, this bad cholesterol, are statins. Lots of people listening to this are on statins. And what they do is they inhibit the production of cholesterol in our liver. They've been used for decades. They're safe. They're inexpensive. But just last week, the FDA approved a new pill. It's called Lipfendra, and it's shown to lower cholesterol substantially more when combined with a statin.
What makes this kind of new pill different? Because obviously there's been cholesterol medications out there for years. So what's different about this?
Yeah, so what we know is it works by blocking a protein in order to allow our body to more rapidly clear or get rid of the cholesterol. Now, these medicines have been around, but they've been injections, and they've been expensive, $500-600 a month. But what we found is in this clinical trial, Lipfendra lowered LDL cholesterol by 60% over 24 weeks, in addition to what was done by that statin therapy. So there are trials underway now to see if it's not just lowering the cholesterol, but if it's doing what we really want, which is decreasing the incidence of heart disease, strokes, those other cardiovascular disease and deaths in high-risk individuals. So for folks whose cholesterol remains high, even when they're on a statin, this could really be a game changer.
So how is it different, Dr. Weston, from other cholesterol medications? I mean, treating cholesterol is nothing new. So how is the pill different?
Yeah, the way it actually works on our body is a little bit different. And what that means is that you can use it in addition to a statin. And so some people may just be on a statin alone, and that's doing it. But for a lot of people out there, even though they're on their statin, it's just not lowering their cholesterol enough to be at that optimal level. And so this can be an additive medicine to go on top of that statin and bring your cholesterol in line to make you even healthier.
Yeah, really interesting information with Dr. Ben Weston on our weekly wellness check. Always great information, Dr. Weston. We'll do it again next week.
All right. We'll talk to you soon. Have a good week.
You do the same. Dr. Ben Weston joins us every week here on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here. Another fantastic trip. Join WTMJ listeners October of 2027, exploring 2 magnificent countries, Croatia and Slovenia. A custom itinerary for TMJ listeners you don't want to miss out. Fairy tale cities, picture-perfect islands, the lovely Adriatic coast, cobblestone streets, crystal waters, Croatia's dazzling coast. It's a 7-night cruise on a chartered small ship and the greatest hotel accommodations when we're on land. It's incredible. Savor authentic cuisine and discover the history of these 2 countries in one unforgettable journey. Let me send you more information. Space is extremely limited. Need you to sign up right away if you're interested. John at WTMJ.com. You email me. I send you all the information. You sign up. John at WTMJ.com. This is incredible. Let me get you the info. John at WTMJ.com. Croatia, October 2027.
It's Mike with Infinity Exteriors. I've seen it all, Wisconsin. Sketchy sales gimmicks for low-quality windows, siding that costs more than a new home, fly-by-night roofers. 60,000 happy customers made a better choice. Infinity Exteriors roofing, siding, and windows all come with our lifetime workmanship warranty, no overcharges, and transparent pricing. At Infinity Exteriors, we're on a mission to save our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Visit infinityexteriors.com.
Hey, this is WTMJ Steve Scafidi. Have you listened to WTMJ Outdoors yet? Well, what are you waiting for? Every Saturday at 2 right here on 620 WTMJ. Stories of the outdoors of Wisconsin and beyond as we celebrate everything in recreation. This week, Journal Sentinel Outdoors writer Paul Smith joins me to talk about all things fishing and hunting in the great state of Wisconsin. And Jim Stewart's, owner of Raleigh and Helen's Muskie Shop in Minocqua, on all things muskie fishing and beyond.
It's WTMJ Outdoors, presented by Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Accident Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Brian Wicker, Chief Homebuyer Helper with Wisconsin's own Accident Mortgage. Nicer homes are still getting multiple offers over asking, and there's only one winner per listing. I want to help you be that winner, which is why I just increased the Rock Solid Pre-Approval Guarantee to $10,000. It's all about getting the seller to pick your offer over the others. So AccuNet is now guaranteeing in writing to pay the seller 10,000 American bucks if we can't make good on the terms of your fully verified Rock Solid Pre-Approval. Banks don't do that. We're willing to stand behind our work and stand behind you with a $10,000 guarantee that sellers will definitely notice. Maybe you've been writing offers and losing, which feels terrible, or maybe you're just starting out. Either way, don't settle for a flimsy bank pre-approval and let someone else end up sleeping in your dream home. Give the seller 10,000 reasons to say yes to your offer with AccuNet's new $10,000 Rock Solid Seller Guarantee. Get started with yours today at accunet.com.
For 176 years, St. Vincent de Paul Society of Milwaukee has been neighbors helping neighbors, working to eliminate poverty and hunger with compassion and dignity. When families face hard times, our volunteers step in. Over 600 trained volunteers ready to meet people where they're at, in their homes. And that's what our Neighbors Helping Neighbors home visit program is all about. Volunteers travel in pairs, listening first, then offering personalized support. They provide families and individuals with things like furniture, beds, food, clothing, and connect them to vital community resources, help that provides stability during challenging times. These home visits don't just address an immediate need, they help create a safer, more stable future for our families and individuals in our community. Last year alone, St. Vincent de Paul Society volunteers completed nearly 11,000 home visits across Milwaukee County, serving those who need us most. Together, we are neighbors helping neighbors. To learn more about our mission or get involved, visit svdpmilw.org.
Transform your home today. Exterior Pros. Trust the pros.
Breaking news as it happens. Stay up to date with your trusted and relevant source in news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ Milwaukee.
It's 2 o'clock. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Thursday, July 23rd. Your top story, new details following a deadly shooting in Madison.
I'm Neil Doyle, in for Jessica Ty. 2 semi-crashes in just a 3-hour span in southeast Wisconsin.
Well, a very nice day today with a high of 78 degrees. Little breezy, little cloudy. Comfortable, though. Low tonight of 62. Mostly sunny on Friday, high 78. Back to 85 degrees and humid on Saturday. Next chance of rain could be on Sunday with a high of 90. From the WTMJ Breaking Newsroom, Decision Wisconsin. The most recent Marquette law poll says gubernatorial candidate Francesca Hong is leading the Democratic primary. Hong holds first place with 26%, although nearly half of Democratic voters remain undecided. Marquette Law Poll Director Dr. Charles Franklin.
45% undecided. So that's down from 65% in March, but it's still an awful lot of undecided Democrats. We're looking at Democratic primary voters here.
Poll data taken before Lieutenant Governor Sarah Rodriguez dropped from the race and prior to Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley re-entering. A new law poll is being released next week focused solely on the changes for the Democratic side of the ticket.
A vigil is planned tonight in Madison after a man was shot and killed by police.
The man was in his 30s. His name has not been released, but Madison police say he had a knife. The community gathering was planned over social media by various social justice advocacy groups. The Madison Common Council has postponed a scheduled listening session related to the incident. Council President Sabrina Madison says she plans to attend the vigil, and the new time will be set at a later date. The The vigil is planned for 5 p.m., though many protesters have been on scene since the shooting occurred. Elizabeth Linton in WTMJ News.
The mayor of Madison and the police chief are planning to provide an update on the shooting coming up at about 3 o'clock this afternoon.
4 injured after 2 early morning semi-crashes close to the highway in Racine County.
Northbound 329 over 0, semi-burst van, huge fireball, unknown if it's still on fire.
That scanner audio from Broadcastify. In the first crash, sheriff's deputies responded early this morning to I-94 near Gulf Road after a Sprinter van traveling at a slow rate of speed on the shoulder was rear-ended by a semi. An SUV also damaged in that crash. 3 hours later, just a few miles away, another semi rear-ended a second semi, then hit a box truck. One of those semis caught fire. 4 people involved in both crashes suffered minor injuries.
It's been nearly a month and a half since Kentucky Senator Mitch McConnell was rushed to the hospital. He's been notably absent from Congress and the public since then. Democratic New York Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez telling reporters that many questions need to be answered.
I mean, if Senator McConnell is not capable of as basic a task as answering a letter to Governor Beshear, I think that conveys a very disturbing inability to fulfill his duties.
McConnell's staff has been tight-lipped on his medical condition, and the governor of Kentucky saying he still has not to hear from McConnell and the status of his recovery.
Several major pieces of legislation, including parts of the Save America Act, are moving on in the Senate after House lawmakers passed a $1 trillion defense spending bill on Wednesday. News Nation's Gabrielle Caraccio.
Speaker Mike Johnson and House Republicans are celebrating. They passed a nearly $1.15 trillion annual defense policy bill, a budget bill aimed at avoiding a government shutdown this fall, and a partial ban on members of Congress trading stock. Included are parts of the president's voting bill, the Save America Act. The votes come as House lawmakers prepare to head home to their districts, where they'll have to make their case to their constituents.
The tally was 216 to 212, with 6 Democrats voting for the bill and 7 Republicans voting against it.
Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update a little less than an hour before the closing bell, and things still not looking good across the board. The NASDAQ down more than 2% at 25,058. The Dow down 1% as well at 51,675. And the S&P 500 off over 100 points. That's more than 1% as well at 7,390. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 2:05.
$998 buys you a magnificent diamond solitaire engagement ring at Kessler's.
A solid gold mounting shows off a big, beautiful diamond, 3/4 carat.
Glitter, twinkle, sparkle.
This is the definitive diamond solitaire engagement ring.
You can choose a round diamond, radiant, marquise, or oval.
3/4 carat. Any shape you want.
Any color of gold you want.
A 1-carat solitaire is just $1,498.
Ask to see the Evermore engagement rings at Kessler's.
You're going to be ecstatic about the color, clarity, and cut of your diamond.
Evermore.
Each of these diamonds was lovingly created in the heart of a miniature star.
Your diamond will remain.
Evermore.
Your diamond was born about the time you fell in love.
You will be in love.
Evermore.
Your diamond has been waiting patiently for you to see it, love it, and choose it.
Don't keep it waiting. Come to Kessler's.
To find the Kessler's nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
Shopping for new windows and doors shouldn't feel like a negotiation. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin doesn't believe in games. They never inflate pricing, and there's no high-pressure sales pitch. Just premium windows and doors built for long-term comfort, beauty, and peace of mind. Buy direct through Pella, and one trusted team handles everything with Pella-certified installers every step of the way. Real pricing, premium quality, no games. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Schedule your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
It's here! Fox World Travel's exclusive July sale is back. Now's the time to lock in your preferred dates and rates at all-inclusive resorts with Apple Vacations to Mexico and the Caribbean with nonstop flights. Plus, new this year, exclusive discounts on European vacation packages. Visit foxworldtravel.com or call 866-GO-FOX-GO. Secure your paradise with just a deposit. The sale ends July 24th. Don't miss out.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. The Brewers and Dodgers have emerged with the best records in baseball. A little over a week and a half from the trade deadline in Major League Baseball. Most of the teams not yet decided if they're going to be buyers or sellers.
There's a lot of competition in the sport, and I think that's a good thing, but it does make it harder, certainly, to buy. If you're in a situation like ours where you're looking to add and then there's just less available players in that market.
Brewers president of baseball operations Matt Arnold. No game for the Crew tonight. A 3-game weekend series with the Rockies begins Friday afternoon. Countdown to Packers training camp is on with rookies and select veterans scheduled to report on July 27th. Packers head coach Matt LaFleur hopeful tight end Tucker Kraft will be available for week 1 against the Vikings.
Certainly want to be conservative, but we also got to win games. We have a long way to go and don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. We're still in July here, and so we, obviously have a little bit of a lead here, but that can go away quickly. And so, we're gonna do what we can to push the guys, but also do it responsibly.
That again was actually Matt Arnold. Here's LaFleur on Tucker Kraft.
Tuck looks great right now. You want him out there. He looks so good. You want to put him out there, but certainly we're still early in that process, and hopefully he'll be ready to go either by training camp or early in training camp.
Kraft tore his ACL in November. Training camp practice number 1 scheduled for July 29th.
Take a look at the road, your WTMJ time saver traffic. We've got a new crash to report, and it's right in the stadium interchange, so in our work zone there. This is on the eastbound side of 94, right at Highway 175. The crash over on the right shoulder, so not really blocking traffic, but it's already tight there through that stretch because it's our work zone, so seeing typical delays and crews look like they're out there, so hopefully not going to be too big of a problem. Seeing some other tapping of the brakes, 41 southbound, our work zone there. That starts at Good Hope, ease it up once you get past Capitol Drive. Everything else moving along nicely.
Traffic is sponsored by TaybackAttorneys.com. Veterans benefits denied? Call Tayback for the payback. Brave Americans who served shouldn't be denied benefits or have a disability claim incorrectly evaluated by the VA. If you're one of those vets, call Tayback for the payback. TaybackAttorneys.com.
Nice day today, topping out about 78 degrees. Overnight low right around 60. Should be a good deal of sunshine throughout the day. Same for tomorrow with a high of 78. Back to the mid-80s on Saturday. Could touch 90 degrees on Sunday with a slight chance of rain. 77 and partly cloudy in Milwaukee at 210.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzik, and in for Jessica Ty, it's Neil Doyle.
Greg and Neil with you till 3 o'clock this afternoon, getting you set for Wisconsin's afternoon news. A special program for WAN. They're up at EAA. It should be a beautiful day for that. They've got the daily air shows. In fact, one is about to begin here in about 5 minutes. And a couple of times throughout the run of EAA, they do a night air show as well. So great day for them to be up there. It looks like a beautiful day for it.
Yeah, I mean, temperatures right where you want them. They already have big crowds. I'm going to imagine the crowds are very nice today.
John and Julia will tell us coming up in about 50 minutes with Wisconsin's afternoon news on the road.
Here's your top 2 at 2 on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Well, number 1, the Wisconsin Department of Justice Division of Criminal Investigation is taking over the investigation into the fatal police shooting of a man in his 30s on the east side of Madison. It happened on Wednesday afternoon about 1:30. It sparked massive protests and a cancellation of public events in the city.
Police say officers were called for reports of a man checking vehicle doors. When officers tried to make contact, they say he fled on a bicycle. About a half hour later, officers catching up with him and a physical struggle ensued in a busy intersection.
That's ABC's Chief Justice correspondent Pierre Thomas. And the reason that's notable, this is headline news from the national network. ABC reporting on this, other outlets as well. According to Madison Police Chief John Patterson, 4 officers attempted to restrain the man in the middle of the road. He was looking inside of vehicles, and then they found him about half hour later bicycling himself away, and a veteran officer tased him. That was not effective. Chief Patterson stated the suspect produced a fixed blade knife and injured an officer during the struggle. The injured officer then fired his handgun, ultimately killing the man. Officers not wearing body camera footage, but there is all sorts of video circulating online. Candlelight Vigil is scheduled for 5 o'clock this evening.
And I do believe within the next hour, coming up at 3, we'll hear from Chief Patterson and the mayor of Madison going to provide a bit of an update as well. A new autopsy out after the death of an 18-year-old in Mississippi over the 4th of July weekend.
Still no concrete answers as to how 18-year-old Nolan Wells died. The preliminary findings of the independent autopsy report commissioned by Wells's family found the cause of his death to be undetermined. Wells's body was found July 6th, 2 days after he'd gone to an island off the coast of Mississippi with friends who later returned to the mainland without him.
This has been a crazy story to follow. The pathologist that the family hired also noted he did not find any evidence of fractures, did not find evidence of deep tissue injuries, and the group that Wells was boating with, they returned home without him. His cell phone was not on his person at the time of his death. I believe police say, they've interviewed close to 100 witnesses now. They've been trying to go through some of the cell phones. So, yeah, still a bit of a mystery as to what happened.
Well, the family was unsatisfied with the local officials' investigation, so they hired some of their own people. Independent autopsy, they hired a pathologist trying to get to the bottom of this. And to this point, no sign of foul play is being suspected. Some complications with the autopsy because the body was found in the water. The man had to actually drown. But still trying to answer some questions here. Why did the group take off, leave their guy behind? Why was his phone not on his person? Why was his Snapchat deleted? Trying to figure out the answers to those questions as part of the investigation.
Yeah, very, very interesting story that we've been following.
It is 2:14 on WTMJ.
Here's why you can feel confident in choosing Less's Glass to fabricate and install your new shower door or glass bath enclosure. For over 40 years, we've done thousands of them. And when you want a new and modern aesthetic added to your bathroom, you want a crew with experience behind it. We fabricate new shower doors or bath enclosures to fit any space of your bathroom, all done in-house. And that's great for quality control. It could be a neo-angle shower stall, a corner enclosure, a bypass for your tub or shower, or a heavy 3/8-inch all-glass enclosure. Any idea you have, framed or frameless, we can handle it. And when you work with a family-owned company, the buck stops here, because we're not satisfied until you are. This is Stacy Sinks with Less's Glass Service. If it's a new glass shower door, fogged or broken insulated glass replacement, or affordable glass and mirror home decor that you've been looking for, you just can't pass on Less's Glass. Less's Glass Service, serving all of southeastern Wisconsin. Find us at lessglassservice.com.
Is your life stuck in constant stress mode? Headaches, poor sleep, constant tension. Vince Vitrano for Connect Chiropractic, my team that can help not just mask symptoms, but find the root cause. Connect Chiro specializes in neurologically focused chiropractic care, helping your nervous system function the way it's designed so your body can heal, adapt, and perform at its best. Helping our community live healthier, more energized lives. Go connectchiro.com.
Some days you watch the game. On WTMJ Day, you live it.
Back at the track, wall!
Fire up the grill and join the WTMJ team on August 29th, or we watch the crew deliver the highlights.
We are all witnesses.
WTMJ Day is sponsored by Big Fish Contracting, Woodman's, and Leff's Lucky Town.
Would you like fries with that?
We are the home of the Brewers, WTMJ.
Pleasant conditions today, high of 78 degrees. Comfortable tonight, a low of 60. Sun returns on Friday with a high of 78. Back to 85 on Saturday. Chance of rain on Sunday and a high of 90 degrees. 77, partly cloudy in Milwaukee at 216. So it was about a month ago, the federal arson trial of Jonathan Riddernecht ended in a mistrial after a deadlocked jury failed to reach a unanimous verdict on 3 federal charges tied to the deadly 2025 Palisades fire. It was about that time in late June that we had our conversation with Caitlin Morrell, Burlington native, Pacific Palisades resident, who remains displaced from her home well beyond a year from these fires setting ablaze to her area. Now keep in mind, Neil, her home was not knocked down. It's still standing. But
yeah,
Caitlin and her family remain on the outside of that home looking in. Meanwhile, a new trial for Riddernecht is scheduled in October. Caitlin joins us for our monthly check-in from the Pacific Palisades. Hi, Caitlin.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well. You know, I wanted you on last time to talk about that trial because I was just curious the reaction of residents in your area, if they were following this, if the chorus was guilty on all costs, or if there was blame for the fire department. How do you digest what has happened with this trial and where it could be going?
I think it's a mixed bag of emotions. I think all of us come at it obviously angry that fire was started, because without that fire, you don't have the Palisades fire 1 week later. But there was just gross mismanagement on so many levels. And then you bring into account the weather. There was a serious weather situation that day as well that was unusual for January. January isn't usually the windy season, or what we call fire season in California. So I always say it's like the perfect storm. It was everybody's fault and nobody's fault all at once.
With that trial again that we were talking about, I believe now there is going to be a retrial. I believe the judge in this case going to hear this coming up, or I guess just get the hearing going, because I think it's not till October.
October 19th.
But there is a hearing coming up, I believe, about a month from now. Do you feel like people are, because this is going to be retried, going to keep kind of following this, or are some people just maybe so upset what happened in the first trial that maybe they won't maybe follow as much?
I think everybody in Pacific Palisades is following it, but I think in addition to having accountability for that first fire that started, a lot of us would like to see some accountability, some admission of holes, gaps in the system that were taken. I think a lot of us don't want to see this individual as the one scapegoat, because bottom line, that fire was put out that night. I remember that night. It was New Year's Eve. It was about 1 o'clock in the morning. An alert came up on my phone, and nobody got any rest until about 4 o'clock in the morning, when you got the email that said it was out and that they were doing the mop-up efforts. So while that is what ultimately sparked the fire 1 week later, that's not necessarily what caused the mass devastation. There were other things that caused the mass devastation on January 7th, 8th, 9th, throughout that week.
So let's focus in on your situation now, Caitlin. Here you are, still displaced from your home. Signs of progress. What is the latest here?
Yeah. I think last time we spoke, I had gotten some hygienic testing that State Farm had ordered. State Farm wanted to prove that some debris that was in our floors was actually fire related. So their hygienist came back. It was fire related. There was char found in our floors. There were measurable metals found on windowsills and in the floor as well. But then they took a month to give us a directive on what to do with that, whether it's remediate the whole house, because their hygienist basically said your house, the whole interior of the house is still contaminated. So we were looking to replace the floors because that was kind of the problem area. We, like I said, sat for a month. I think I went home and visited Wisconsin in mid-June. I got the email in mid-June that the test result was done. And not until this past Friday did I get any directive on what to do with that. So they have asked for a quote to replace our floors. But now we have to go through that process, have the floors appraised by insurance, see what they're worth, see what the replacement cost value is. So that's going to take a few more weeks before we can even begin to start thinking about the process of replacing those. So a little hiccup, but also something that will make us feel better moving into our home, that it's safer.
Has it been tough for you guys at all? I mean, I know, I'm sure you have to be happy to see others. I've seen stories even just this week, people that have had to rebuild and have rebuilt and are back in their home now. But for you guys still kind of going through this process and what it's been like and still not in your home, is that tough at all to kind of see some of these other people get settled back in?
It's not tough. It's frustrating because the insurance companies have done such a good job of digging their heels in and stalling the situation. So they're doing this to try to save themselves money, but they've actually spent more money having us displaced because they have to pay for our rent every month that we're out of our home. In the meantime, pretty much everything that we've brought into them as damage from the fire has been able to be proven as fire damage. So they are paying for that little by little as well. So that to me is more what's frustrating. I'm super excited every time I see somebody who lost their home rebuild and get to move back in. We have a friend who will be moving back into her home end of July, early August, which is great. We have some other friends who we just found out their home will be ready in October. So to me, that's just so ridiculously exciting because there's certain elements. It wasn't easy for anybody. Nobody was lucky in this situation. But to see the people that had everything wiped out, some of them were not able to get home to get any sentimental belongings. We know people who weren't able to go back and get pets. So to see them finished and be able to really start to take root again in the community every time you see it, it's exciting, no matter how frustrating our situation is.
We've talked every step of the way here, Caitlin. I remember that those initial days where we were able to go back and sort of tour your property to assess the damage. It was being controlled, right? Police didn't want looters going into that area or people who didn't belong in that area. Do you sense any level of vibrancy in your specific neighborhood starting to redevelop?
Our neighborhood is great because only about 20% of the homes in our neighborhood burned down. So people move back to that neighborhood first. That neighborhood looks the most normal out of anything. And now when I go up to my house, I'll actually, as soon as I log off with you, I will go up there to meet with my contractor. You see people walking their dogs. You see kids riding their bikes. You see people at the HOA club pools. It feels very normal up there. When you go down into the village, there's a lot of activity. There's a ton of rebuilding, especially in certain neighborhoods. There's a few neighborhoods that are a little more dormant, but I think what's going to be really exciting is our Palisades Village complex, which is shopping, dining, communal areas. There's a theater there that's going to reopen on August 15th. So I think it will bring some people from outside of the area back in. We've had some new businesses open up in the past few weeks. We've had some beloved businesses come back. Some beloved businesses plan to come back to some standing storefronts. And there is vibrancy, and I think everybody just craves that community because I think I've told you so many times, we are a very small town-like community. I always liken it to like a Midwestern town by the ocean.
And then you look at the calendar, and we're getting through summer pretty quick. I'm guessing you will not be in your home before school begins, but that's just another one of those adjustments. No. So this is going on now year 2 of being away from your home during a school cycle. Right. I left my son, anyone who is a TMJ4 News viewer, when I worked there as the traffic reporter, I was pregnant with him. He's going to be 13 on Saturday. When we left our house, he was 11. And now he's going to be a teenager. And any parent knows that is a significant gap of time. Yes. And there's a lot of development that happens in that time. So he's a completely different person than he was when we left the house. And I also joke that poor child has never had one typical year of school between Los Angeles Unified Teacher strikes, COVID, the fire. I think maybe he's had one traditional year of school. Do you have a ballpark month? I feel like this shifts a little bit every time we ask, but
it shifts every time we talk, Greg.
It does.
So it was supposed to be August 28th. That will no longer be on the table, and we will have to relocate from this current rental in between. So we will have another place that we live in between now and when we move home. We're aiming toward middle to end of September now.
Okay, so is this your 5th place or 6th that you'll be going to? I've got a lost count.
No. This one is only our 2nd place.
Oh, it is. Okay, well, good. I thought.
Yes, this is only our 2nd place. We've been so lucky. We've had the most wonderful family that rented their home to us. They had a home out in the desert that they were able to relocate to. They left it completely furnished for us, so we didn't need to buy furniture or anything like that. And they have graciously extended our rent 6 times, or extended our lease 6 times as delays have happened. And we finally said to them, we will no longer inconvenience you. We will say this is the end date, and if it's not our end date, we will find something else.
Wow.
So we are at that point, but hopefully it will be just a short-term situation in between.
Well, amazing resilience, Caitlin. We always do appreciate our monthly check-ins here. We'll do it again in August, and hopefully a little more clarity on when you can return.
And I appreciate you guys for having me on, too.
Yeah, always great to talk. Caitlin Morrell, Burlington native, Pacific Palisades resident, all these months later. And now we're going on a year and a half of being removed from a home that did not get demolished during those Palisades fires. So that story continues, and the rebuilding continues in that area in California. It is 2:26. We've got news coming up in just a few.
Well, it's official. My friends have all switched to Pure Talk because I told them they could save a bunch of money on a super reliable high-speed network with unlimited data. And because they're my friends, they trust me. As for the rest of you, well, Pure Talk understands that even though you might like me, you're not just going to take my word for it, nor should you. For that reason, and for a very limited time, Pure Talk is offering any of their plans for just $15 a month for the first 3 months, including their top-tier unlimited plan that normally sells for $65 a month. Think of it like a test drive, a super simple way to save $150 while you kick the tires on Pure Talk's blazing fast network, and a fine way to see for yourself why I switched from big wireless, along with a few 100,000 of my closest friends. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and be connected to Pure Talk's friendly U.S. customer service team. Again, dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and let the savings begin.
Siding Unlimited is truly siding and a whole lot more. Wonderful people, Eric and Aaron Brown, my good friends and owners of Siding Unlimited. They took over their father's company, started as a siding company. That was it. And then Eric and Aaron said, you know what, we can do a little more here. How about adding windows and doors and roofing to siding? And that's where the name came from, Siding Unlimited. Truly siding and a whole lot more. Anything to beautify and protect your home's exterior falls right into their world. Check out their showroom. It is beautiful. It's located in Brookfield, 665 Larry Court near Gerke's Corners, kind of on that Blue Mound Barker Road intersection. Check it out, and you'll see some of these amazing products on display and get a good sense for what it would look like if installed at your home. And then you trust the installation experts at Siding Unlimited for their quality work. This is what separates Siding Unlimited from the rest. Incredible installation teams standing behind their work and incredible products. Check out sidingunlimited.com.
It's WTMJ's Debbie Loziga for Comfort Awnings. My motorized retractable awning is already saving me from that hot summer sun. I love that I can enjoy my patio year-round thanks to Comfort Awnings. I just retract it when I want the sun and extend it when I need the shade. Comfort Awnings even come equipped with sensors that detect rain and strong winds. This year, reclaim your outdoor space for your friends and family to enjoy every season Wisconsin has to offer. Right now, get $250 off any awning or screen. Call 414-AWNINGS or visit comfortawnings.com to learn more.
Every child deserves someone who won't give up on them. That's what LaCausa's treatment foster care program provides.
She just made me feel like I could breathe. At the end of the phone call, she said, "I love you." And I'm like, you don't even know me, but I felt like she did love me. It just let me know everything's gonna be okay. Like everything is gonna be okay.
One caring adult can change a child's life. Learn how you can become a foster parent with LaCausa at lacausa.org.
Coming up on 2:30, I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News. It's Thursday, July 23rd. Your top stories, sex trafficking allegations at the Milwaukee Soldiers' home.
I'm Neil Doyle, and for Jessica Ty, where does Wisconsin rank in terms of economy?
Well, extended forecast is pretty nice overall, including today, where we've got a high of 80 degrees inland, just slightly cooler near the lake. Winds very light and variable. Should be a very nice evening as well, with lows around 60 degrees. Friday, bit of a carbon copy, just a slight warm up to 82, no chance of rain. Saturday, we hit 86, and the conditions become a little bit more humid. We introduced the chance of rain on Sunday. It looks like more of a Monday thing, but perhaps in the late overnight hours on Sunday, you could hit a little rain.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Another day of American attacks on Iran, the 12th straight day now. President Trump threatening to strike an Iranian bridge or power plant for every ship targeted by Iran and its proxies in the region. Here's ABC's Karen Waugh.
Experts say deliberately targeting civilian infrastructure is a potential war crime under international law. And a second vital trade route disrupted. Iran-backed Houthis claiming strikes on 2 Saudi oil tankers in the Red Sea. Regular gas is now averaging $4.06 a gallon.
And a barrel for Brent crude now tops $100. In Minnesota, Vance Belter sentenced to 2 life terms plus 40 years in prison for killing Democratic state lawmaker Melissa Hortman and her husband last year at their home, and the attempted murder of another lawmaker and his wife that same day. Belter pleaded guilty last month, taking the death penalty off the table. On Wall Street this hour, stocks sharply lower due to uncertainty in the war and earnings reports. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 2:31. 2 people face felony charges for allegedly sex trafficking an 18-year-old woman at a Milwaukee veterans housing complex.
Derek Brown and his girlfriend Sarah Cuney are accused of trafficking the woman about 40 times back in May of 2025. A criminal complaint says they trafficked her 5 to 12 times per day inside their apartment at the Milwaukee Soldiers' home. The victim had just aged out of foster care, and the couple allegedly told her she could stay with them in exchange exchange for being sex trafficked. Cuny will stand trial on one charge of receiving money for human trafficking. Brown faces the same charge and one charge of keeping a place of prostitution. His preliminary hearing is set for September. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
A Mequon Country Club paying $750,000 to settle a federal PPP loan case. The U.S. Attorney's Office says Ozaki Country Club wasn't eligible for a Paycheck Protection Program loan because it operates as a private membership club. Federal officials say the club received the loan and then later had it forgiven. The country club agreed to the settlement but does not admit wrongdoing or liability.
Wisconsin health officials reporting another increase in cases of the stomach illness, cyclosporiasis.
The Department of Health Services says 105 cases and 3 hospitalizations have been reported so far this season. Most of the illnesses have been linked to international travel, while 20 cases were acquired in the U.S. with no common food source identified. There are no active cyclospora outbreaks in Wisconsin. Health officials are reminding people to wash fresh fruits and vegetables before eating or preparing them. Nicer Spencer, WTMJ News.
Wisconsin ranks inside the top 10 when it comes to best state economies across the nation. That according to a new report, business report from CNBC. CEO of the MMAC, Dale Coinga, telling Wisconsin's Afternoon News.
A lot of different reasons for that. We got very good state fiscal health situation. We don't rely upon a lot of federal money here. There's a lot of foreign direct investment. Business formation has been through the roof since 2020. So it's good news. It's a great place to live, great place to work, great place to do business.
According to the report, the top state economies went to Ohio, North Carolina, Virginia, and Texas.
And the Milwaukee Fire Department welcomes a new class of graduating cadets. Fire Chief Aaron Lipsky says all 24 graduates passed the paramedic exam prior to graduating, the first class to do so, telling WTMJ.
It's getting more and more difficult to pass the coursework, to be fair. There's many components to it. Each one is academically difficult. It's physically difficult. There's a lot of field time and clinical time, just the coursework. Then to pass the National Registry exam is also very difficult. In recent years, we've had difficulty getting everybody to pass. All 24 of these folks passed. It is absolutely incredible.
The recruits will officially be sworn in November.
Sports, traffic, weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 2:34.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Sleep better and save more with mattresses from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in our Milwaukee factory, our mattresses utilize natural materials like cotton cushioning, which dissipates body heat, Joma wool quilts for warm wintry nights and cool summer evenings, and natural latex providing superior conformability and pressure relief for aching joints. Stop in today at any Ken Michaels Furniture store and save up to 50% compared to national brands.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Brian Wickert, owner of Wisconsin's own AccuNet Mortgage. I get that most home shoppers just go with their bank when it comes to getting pre-approved, but that's probably a mistake because banks have a lot of overhead like branches, fancy headquarters, and layers of management. That means their closing costs are typically $1,000 to $3,000 higher than AccuNet's for exactly the same rate. And that's not all. Bank pre-approval letters are usually weak and unconvincing, especially compared to AccuNet's rock-solid, fully verified pre-approval that provides a $2,000 guarantee to you and the seller. Our senior loan consultants will also look at every possible way to strengthen your offer and pre-approval in the eyes of that seller, especially if you're offering over the asking price. We even call the listing agent to reinforce what a great buyer you are. Banks don't do all that. Click on the blue button today at AccuNet.com and let our passionate mortgage pros help you win while you save a bunch of money too. That's ACCUNET.com.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano talking with Dr. Mike Nolte at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Doc, a lot of people are hesitant to visit a surgeon for spine care.
The good news is that the vast majority of patients that I see and the majority of conditions that I can see can be successfully treated without surgery. And I don't want patients to think that just because you're seeing a spine surgeon means that you're going to be signing up for surgery. We talk about in my clinic kind of a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C.
Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, there is a difference. OrthoWisconsin.com.
Hey, Wisconsin, it's construction season, and the Wisconsin DOT wants to help you safely navigate work zones in your area. Check 511wi.gov or download the free 511 app to see current road work, closures, detours, and camera views on your route. Wherever your travels take you, know before you go with 511wi.gov. That's 511wi.gov. And remember, know before you go. Always park the phone while driving. Sponsored by the Wisconsin DOT.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports desk. The Brewers pushing back Jacob Mizorowski's next start as the team works to manage his innings and the innings of all their young starters. Brewers President of Baseball Operations Matt Arnold.
Certainly want to be conservative, but we also got to win games. You know, we have a long way to go and don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. You know, we're still in July here, and so we, obviously have a little bit of a lead here, but that can go away quickly. And so, we're gonna do what we can to push the guys, but also do it responsibly.
Brewers' season-long 9-game homestand continues Friday afternoon against the Colorado Rockies. The countdown to Packers training camp is on, with rookies and select veterans scheduled to report on July 27th. Head coach Matt LaFleur is hopeful to have tight end Tucker Kraft available for Week 1 against the Vikings.
Tuck looks great right now. You want him out there. He looks so good. You want to put him out there, but certainly we're still early in that process, and hopefully he'll be ready to go either by training camp or early in training camp.
Kraft tore his ACL in November. Packers' first training camp practice scheduled for July 29th.
Take a look at the roads. Your WTMJ time saver traffic. Still dealing with this crash in the stadium interchange, eastbound side of 94, right at Highway 175. Part of the right shoulder there has this accident on it, so slowing things down a little bit. Not anything too out of the ordinary. Still kind of typical slowdowns between Hawley and 35th in that stretch. 41 southbound, you'll tap the brakes, starting to see some heavier volume from Good Hope to Capitol. Same thing on the northbound side of 41. You're slow from North Avenue to Capitol Drive. And want to tell you one thing off this system, over in Waukesha County, Highway 59 East is closed at Sunny Slope Road. We've got a crash over there, so just something to be mindful of. Otherwise, everything else moving along.
From TMJ4, I'm meteorologist Jacob Montesano with your Storm Team forecast. For tonight, we're going to see more rather cool temperatures with lows in the lower 60s to upper 50s. And for Friday, we'll continue to see plenty of sunshine and highs in the 70s. But then Saturday, we will start to warm up, highs in the middle 80s with more sunshine. And our next chance of rain will come Sunday and also Monday. Both days could feature some severe weather, although a lot can change between now and then. And both days will also feature some hot temperatures, as highs will be back in the lower 90s, and we likely will see some high dew points along with those temperatures, so the feels like temperatures will likely be even hotter. I'm Storm Team 4 meteorologist Jacob Montesano.
78 degrees in Milwaukee at 240. Well, it seems like every week OpenAI is helping solve problems and also getting itself into trouble. Right from the website, OpenAI is an American artificial intelligence research organization that focuses on developing safe and beneficial artificial intelligence to benefit all of humanity. Right from the website. If you're looking for that sample trip to Italy, no problem. ChatGPT can iron out an itinerary for you. How about a baseball practice plan for your 13-year-old son? Can do that too. How about an unprecedented cyber incident where advanced AI models go rogue and successfully hack the infrastructure of a competing company? Whoops. ABC's Jim Ryan covering this story. So, Jim, what happened here? How did OpenAI get out of its own sandbox and into the playground of another competing company?
Hey, Greg. Yeah, I like how they use these analogies, right? A sandbox. That's where they test this thing out. These are AI agents. It's not software. It's agents. Here's the best analogy I think I've heard. So you've got a couple of students and you put them in a classroom and you say, you two be as naughty as you possibly can. Do them the most harm, do the most damage you can, but stay here in the classroom, please. So you lock the door and you leave for the weekend. Come back Monday morning. The kids are gone. They went out through the window. They broke into a teacher's house and they stole the key to the test that they were supposed to be taking. Well, that's kind of what happened. The kids this time are GPT 5.6 Soul, which is a product of OpenAI, and an even more capable pre-release model. That's how they're describing it. It doesn't even have a name yet. So these two AI models got together. They conspired on the best way to get out of the classroom, went out through an unlocked window, and they sneaked over to Hugging Face, which is another AI company, and they broke in, essentially. Hugging Face didn't know what was happening at first. I mean, their cybersecurity specialists looked. They saw that there was some kind of a breach. They used their own AI technology to figure out who was doing this. And yeah, all trails led back to OpenAI. OpenAI says, that was us.
This is a crazy story, Jim, and I think it outlines some of the frightening realities about artificial intelligence. If I want to create an agent to help me plan this show, I can do that. I can plug in some information saying, send me an email with the top 5 stories in the state of Wisconsin impacting our listeners every day, and my agent will go to work for me to do this. But I have control over that. What stands out about this is that it seems these agents that went rogue stepped away from human control somehow and did its own thing. How does that happen?
Yeah, well, that's what Sam Altman of OpenAI is saying. He's saying, they essentially broke out. They did what they were not supposed to do. But at the same time, people who look at this industry say, well, by the way, OpenAI had lowered the guard just a bit. They had dropped the fence line somewhat, which allowed they left the window open. And that's how these AI agents managed to get out. They locked the door, but there was a way to get out. And they were testing the cybersecurity capabilities of these 2 agents. And sure enough, they were pretty successful in breaking into a different company.
As this thing was going rogue and detected, Jim, how did Hugging Face even stop the attack?
Mm-hmm. Well, first they had to recognize it. They had to figure out, Hugging Face had to figure out. And so what do? Well, they deploy their own AI agent to figure it out. By the way, an AI agent from China. That's because that's the product that they were using. It's an open source AI agent as opposed to the OpenAI ones, which are not open source despite the name. And so instead of running into a brick wall or a paywall or something, they just use the open source product from China. That's how they figured this out. Another potential danger? Yeah, maybe so, Greg.
Well, it's also not just another company here. It's another AI company. So was there some strategic dishonesty here? I'm sure that's being the claim by the other end.
Well, not necessarily, no. And in fact, Hugging Face, the other company, is saying, we didn't realize this was happening. He calls it an attack unlike anything we've seen before. But it also praises OpenAI because OpenAI has been very transparent about this. Immediately when it realized this had happened, went public with it. And so, and I think skeptics or cynics among you, and they start thinking, well, maybe this is just a big publicity stunt to show how good OpenAI is at doing this. And it's gotten publicity for a company that most people had never heard of before, Hugging Face.
Jim, it's kind of a new story here. I'm not sure if you've been able to connect with anybody in the cybersecurity world, but the incident, I think, proves that these AI systems are certainly closing the gap on some of the top-tier human hackers that cause issues each and every year.
Yeah, absolutely. It's another bot out there that's trying to penetrate the defenses of honest companies. Whether it's Hugging Face or IBM or American Airlines, these cybersecurity breaches are happening all the time. The number rises every year. It's like you turn it on and let it go, and you may find yourself with a desk full of login credentials from some competing company.
Has the incident sparked any conversation regarding additional regulatory demands?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And just the few days that's happened, people are looking at it inside and outside of legislatures and saying maybe there should be stronger regulation over these companies, oversight at least, because right now there really is none. It's sort of the wild, wild west, Greg.
Well, can't this thing solve the cyclosporiasis outbreak that we've had, Jim? I know you've been covering that story very tightly, too, and nobody wants to eat lettuce anymore. Come on, AI, help us out.
By the way, Taco Bell they put a special item on sale that has no lettuce in it whatsoever. They don't say that it's in response to cyclosporiasis, but there it is on the menu if you want to order one.
Oh, interesting. For a buck. I'll have my AI agent go right to work on it. I appreciate it, Jim. ABC's Jim Ryan joining us. Great stuff, Jim. Thank you.
See you, Greg.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.
Well, by now you've probably heard me tell the story about our disastrous master closet. That's right. Well, no longer a disaster, thanks to Inspired Closets Milwaukee. Katie and Dan came to the rescue. We had a disaster going on with a cluttered space, builder-grade racking kind of falling apart, clunky dressers, shoes on display. It's just an awful situation. Inspired Closets Milwaukee said, we can help. They came out, did some measurements. We walked through the space, tried to figure out what we needed, what we wanted. Did we want a little bit of glass? Did we want cabinets? Did we want to hide our laundry and shoes and all that kind of stuff? Well, yes. And I wanted to get that dresser out of there. So Inspired Closets Milwaukee built in a design that included 5 drawers to hold all my stuff and all my wife's hanging stuff. A beautiful solution. It still looks like it was installed yesterday. There is no mess. It is fantastic. Organization. I love it. Inspired Closets Milwaukee can bring the same to you in that master closet or in your pantry or front hall closet, maybe a laundry room. See what they can do in your garage. Really think of it. Any space in your home that needs to be decluttered and needs a level of organization, it's inspiredclosetsmilwaukee.com.
I couldn't get off the floor playing with my grandson. We would build a fort, the pillow blanket fort. I couldn't get down on the floor to go through it with him.
Ah, yes, pillow and blanket forts, the stuff grandkid memories are made of. For Donna, it was stolen by joint pain. That's where QC Kinetics came in. Cutting-edge regenerative treatments that help restore aching joints without surgery.
I'm pain-free. When he runs down the driveway to jump up into my arms, I can confidently pick him up and hug him as hard as he's hugging me.
Hugs and blanket forts. QC Kinetics helped Donna get back to the things that brought her the greatest joy.
This is what life's about. Grandkids and being able to be mobile enough to participate. None of this would have been possible without the QC Kinetics team. They were wonderful.
Call QC Kinetics for your Get My Life Back free consultation today.
Call QC Kinetics 414-667-5559. That's 414-667-5559. 414-667-5559.
Trying to keep up with the 21st century can really get you down.
When you need a break, come to Kessler's.
We'll turn your day around.
We have good air conditioning.
And we love making new friends.
The coffee's better than average.
Because we want you to come back again.
We want to be your jeweler.
My father told you for 29 years that he wanted to be your jeweler.
He put that desire in everyone he hired.
And then he gave us the company.
He transformed our lives and gave us the most fun job on earth.
It's easy to sell jewelry when you sell it for less than it's worth.
Come and take a look at our engagement rings.
And of course, we have thousands of other things.
When you're having an overcast day, come to Kessler's.
We're going to turn your day around.
Free jewelry cleaning done by world-class professionals.
While you drink your good coffee in a room full of diamonds and gold.
Makes you feel better, no matter what you've been told.
One thing you definitely want to see before you're done
is our exclusive Kessler 81.
To find the Kesslers nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
The historic Fox and Hound Supper Club near Holy Hill is hiring experienced line cooks and dishwashers. You'll make real money. Night and weekend hours are required. Parents and grandparents, tell your kids. Inquire today, start next week. Google and call the Fox and Hounds today.
Comfortable temperatures continue today and tomorrow for that matter. We're at 78 right now, low of 62, good deal of sunshine, some clouds popping in a little later on throughout the day and this evening. Tomorrow, 78 your high, mostly sunny skies, 85 your high on Saturday. Could touch 90 degrees. There is a chance of rain on Sunday. It's 78 right now in Milwaukee at 250. Well, your side mirrors may be showing you a little too much of your own vehicle and not enough of the road around it. In this month's Driver's Ed with Debbie, we take a look at how to set up your car mirrors to fight the dreaded blind spot.
Most of us probably haven't thought much about our side mirrors since that first day behind the wheel. Maybe you still set them the way you were taught years ago, just enough to see the sliver of your own car. But Eli Bruttle with Just Driving School says that may not be giving you the full picture.
With the rear view mirror, it's very straightforward. You want to be able to see as much of the rear windshield as possible. The easiest way to do that is just line up that rear view mirror inside your vehicle with the rear windshield in the center of it. When it comes to the side mirrors. A good adjustment for the side mirrors is still so that you lean a little bit backwards and a little bit to the side of the mirror that you're setting. You can barely see the side and rear corners of your vehicle.
That means in your normal driving position, you might not see as much of your car as you think you should. Not only that, but he says there's another adjustment a lot of drivers forget.
Where you have your seat set up, actually. No matter what vehicle you're driving, you can always help yourself to be able to see more clearly by making sure that seat is set up correctly before even looking at the mirrors.
So once your seat and mirrors are set, there's a simple routine to check before changing lanes.
We have a very common phrase we use in our vehicles, and that's blinker, mirror, mirror, blind spot. So we always want them to turn on the blinker, check the inside rear view mirror, check the side mirror the way they're turning, and then physically turn that head over that shoulder to check the blind spot.
That last part still matters, even in newer vehicles with blind spot monitors, lane keeping systems, and cameras.
I lump them in with stuff like cruise control. They're great tools. They can help you be a safer driver, but I think it's very important when you're first starting out to learn how to drive without relying on that stuff before you really use it as an aid, and you never should fully rely on it.
Even with all the technology and mirrors, you still only get a part of the picture. Simply put, you gotta turn your head. Putting too much trust in all these things are just not enough. Want some proof? Try this.
Have the driver set their mirrors to the way that they're going to be when they're driving. Passenger gets out of the vehicle, stands behind the vehicle and to the side so that that driver can still see them in the mirror. And they slowly start walking towards the front of that vehicle, and the driver points out when they can't see that pedestrian anymore. And then they can turn, look over their shoulder, and they can see exactly where that blind spot is. So they can then adjust the mirrors a little bit accordingly if they need to see a little bit better into that blind spot with the mirrors.
It's an eye-opening test. You may not realize how big your blind spot actually is until you need to know. We are in the area of motorcycles, bicycles, and scooters. That means being aware of all the space around your vehicle at all times is that much more critical to stay safe out on the roads. Debbie Laziga, WTMJ News.
Downtown Milwaukee is open for business, and business is booming. I'm Matt Dorner, CEO of Milwaukee Downtown Bid 21. According to business leaders, access to talent, quality of life, and connection to community are among the many benefits of locating downtown. So, if you want to grow your company or start a new one, get down to business at MilwaukeeDowntown.com.
This summer, turn up the tradition. Join us July 24th through 26th at the Henry Meyer Festival Park for German Fest Milwaukee. Experience authentic German food, live music, cultural exhibits, family fun, the Pink Energy Run, Dachshund Derby, and backed by popular demand, Vox Club. Then kick off the weekend at our opening ceremony on Friday, July 24th at 5 p.m. in the Oktoberfest tent. We have a special surprise planned that you won't want to miss. Plus, be part of our history at the first ever German Fest Polka Mass. For more info, visit GermanFest.com.
You should be listening to Wisconsin's Midday News with Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty each weekday.
This is a deep cut. I like this song. I'm gonna buy this song, so tell me what it is.
Nobody does it like McFarlane. It's AI generated 90s R&B featuring our favorite Chief Washington correspondent. It's you, buddy.
But if you missed us, catch up anytime with our Wisconsin's Midday News podcast, powered by Siding Unlimited. It's siding and a whole lot more. Want to watch all your favorite WTMJ shows? Check out the WTMJ YouTube channel. Live streams of all your favorite WTMJ shows, from Wisconsin's morning news to what's on tap. See breaking news as it happens. Get involved with the action in the chat on Brewers Extra Innings, or see all the cool tools on the Fix-It Show. Missed your favorite show? We've got past live streams and interview highlights too. Subscribe to 620 WTMJ. WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Welcome to The Knowledge Brokers, a weekly feature covering the dynamics of the insurance market, how it affects Wisconsin businesses and residents. It's sponsored by the original Knowledge Broker, R&R Insurance. Joining me today is Jeff Salazinski, Executive Vice President of Insurance Operations. Jeff, let's talk today about the insurance environment. What should business owners and individuals understand right now about opportunities in today's insurance marketplace?
Thanks, Vince. Always great to be here. A unique confluence of events have shifted this market to favor the buyer.
Sounds like good news. What factors are coming together as we set up this favorable market?
Industry financial results remain solid in 2026, despite some of the weather we've seen here locally. More capital in the market means rates continue to decline for many lines of business. And lastly, the insurance distribution system is changing rapidly.
So how can our listeners capitalize on what you've just described?
You need an insurance professional that understands these unique market dynamics. You need an insurance professional that focuses on you, not one that's preoccupied in selling their business or prepping it for a sale.
So what I'm hearing today, Jeff, is that it is important when you're working with the right insurance partner.
It is, Vince. R&R Insurance has a 50-year record of excellence in this market. We're client-focused when many others are really distracted.
What else can R&R Insurance provide that really sets you apart?
R&R Insurance will provide a better insurance purchasing experience. We'll use data, strategy, and our expert resources to help you control costs and maximize the value of both your commercial and personal insurance program. We blend our elite resources with technology to create innovative and cost-effective insurance solutions. As a top 100 firm nationally, you get local expertise and local ownership working for you.
That's Jeff from R&R Insurance. Thanks for the great info, Jeff.
Well, you've heard the phrase, if life hands you lemons, you make lemonade. But what if life hands you a parasitic stomach bug that causes vomiting and severe diarrhea, Neil? Well, you hope to turn it into a promotional opportunity if you're Taco Bell. Have you seen this? The lines at Taco Bell, the lines in the drive-thru, the parking lot, not terribly crowded these days, right, with this breakout of cyclosporiasis tied to lettuce that had been distributed to Taco Bell restaurants in various states across the country. And now you got 12,000 of these cases of cyclosporiasis breaking out in 41 different states. But Taco Bell, trying to pounce on an opportunity here or maybe mitigate damages, has dropped the price of its enchilada and its nacho fries. What a screaming deal here. It's now just $2.89. The company hasn't said whether the promotion is a direct result of the outbreak of cyclosporiasis, but neither the nacho fries or enchilada contains lettuce, which is linked to thousands of these cases in those 41 states.
I'm sure the lines are long. Yeah. $1.
Now you got to get in line, right? I mean, it's normally $4.29 on the menu, and now it's $2.89. So be able to save a little money or maybe buy some of that gastrointestinal medicine that you might need from Walgreens. News coming up, followed by Wisconsin's Afternoon News live from EAA.
Want to watch all your favorite WTMJ shows? Check out the WTMJ YouTube channel. Live streams of all your favorite WTMJ shows, from Wisconsin's morning news to what's on tap. See breaking news as it happens. Get involved with the action in the chat on Brewers Extra Innings or see all the cool